that fascism isn't bad. If we let this win, this country's cooked. We are cooked.
Can I speak one more?
We are cooked. Well, yeah, I thought that you thought fascism is good. So actually, as the
sure.
authoritarian,
So there are countries that have.
As the authoritarian of this stream, I'm now going to silence you.
There are countries that have fascist governments.
As the authoritarian of this stream, I'm now going to silence you. No, I'm not going to entertain a second of somebody sitting on my stream defending fascism. Let's go and move on to the next guys. I literally cannot believe that we just heard that. That is like, today's going to be a long day. Today is going to be a very, very long day. Hop in that queue if you support Trump. We'll get you pulled up here. Holy crap. We're cooked. Let's go and get that next Trump supporter loaded into the live. Hop in that queue if you're an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president. Today is going to be a long day. Today is going to be a viscerally, insanely long fucking day. What is going on, Toast? Do you support Trump?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Are you MAGA?
I would say that I'd support Trump. I don't know where I'd stand specifically, but...
Okay, let me go ahead and thank a handful of people here before we hop into the debate. Real quick, first and foremost, Phoebe and Caleb, I appreciate you both for the $5 and the $3 over on Venmo, as well as Andrew. Thank you so much for the $10 over on Venmo. Thank you so much. Andrew says, hey, Dean, have you seen this new study linking crime in places that don't allow abortions? I don't know if I've seen like the specific study that you're referencing, but I have seen that before. That's true. Yeah, there's higher level of crimes. Thank you for the $10, Andrew. As well as Callie. Thank you so much for the $30 over on Venmo. Holy fuck. Yo, let's show some love to Callie down below in that chat. Thank you so much. Please tell the guests that JD Vance and RFK have both called Trump the Hitler of our time. I forget. Yeah, those are actually the only two people that have ever been in our government that has actually called him Hitler. Really good point, Callie. Thank you for the $30. As well as Joby, thank you for the 10. Nathan, thank you for the 5. And Jody, thank you for the 5. As well as, holy fuck. Dude. Okay, let's go ahead and hop into that debate, Toast. But, oh my god, David, thank you so much for the $500 donation over on Venmo. That is, David, that is nuts, my friend. That is so much fucking money. Holy shit, I do not deserve that. You are an incredibly kind-hearted, generous individual. Oh my god, David with a $500 donation says, the voice we need, a smart young man who can hopefully grab the attention of all, especially those that fail to utilize critical thought and recognize hypocrisy. Please don't stop, David. I'm never going to stop doing what I do. Thank you so much for the absurd amount of love. I do not deserve $1 of that. If you guys could please show some love to David down below in that chat while we're continuing our debates here, that would be so incredibly kind. Thank you, David. And Toast, go ahead and take it away and tell us why you support Trump. You're muted. Click on your profile picture and unmute the mic. As well as thank you for that disco ball. I appreciate that.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Awesome. I would say that the reason why in this last election I voted for him was just because, I mean, I'm recently getting into politics the last couple of years. Honestly, throughout high school, never really understood. It was like just beyond me, over my head. It was like, I don't really know what's going on. People are angry on either side, and I don't really know which to choose. It seems like both parties have a healthy amount of good and a healthy amount of evil going on in them, and it's just kind of hard to choose between the better of two evils.
Yeah, well, I think that right now it shouldn't be hard to choose at all. Say what you want about the left, but they didn't want to infringe upon the First Amendment right and silence media organizations that spoke negatively upon their leaders.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if anyone truly wants to fully shut people up. I think that the issue that we're seeing right now
Trump does
is that when we have situations kind of like the Charlie Kirk assassination, it's just that there was a high majority of left-leaning, left-affiliated people, which don't know the statistics for sure, but who kind of rejoiced in that. And I'm not one to say that people shouldn't be saying whatever they want. I think that you can say whatever you want. It's on within free speech. But where I have an issue with something like that,
Jimmy Kimmel didn't rejoice in Charlie Kirk's assassination, and Donald Trump got a
the thing with Jimmy Kimmel, which I can get into that in a second. But my issue is just that we as a society have kind of lost the ability to connect with each other because everything is this political entertainment, which would get into the Jimmy Kimmel thing.
Well, I just don't really feel like you're responding
political entertainment
because
we can see that
nothing
within political entertainment there's an issue with people are just trying to rage bait. People are just trying to get a reaction out of people.
Do you mind if I hop in here?
And what was that? Yeah, go for it.
Point number 2, the government doesn't have the right to silence quote-unquote reactionary content. Point number 3, Jimmy Kimmel said nothing about Charlie Kirk's assassination. In fact, I question why you bring it up at all, because nothing that Donald Trump has done in the last 30 hours had anything to do with rejoicing in Charlie Kirk's assassination. In fact, Jimmy Kimmel was, if you'd allow me to finish, Jimmy Kimmel was canceled for suggesting that a shooter might have been MAGA. All right, and then today on Air Force One, Donald Trump said that media organizations aren't allowed to critique him at all, saying nothing to do with Charlie Kirk.
So, on the topic of the Jimmy Kimmel thing, I haven't looked fully into it. I don't know exactly. That's where when I said that, like, my opinion on politics is, like, I'm still kind of learning. I'm still kind of trying to understand, and I'd rather ask questions than take a definitive stance that I don't fully understand.
Okay, well, listen, man. If you have any arguments for why you think that Donald Trump is a good president, feel free to give them to me. But I mean, if you're more so kind of at a point where you're not suggesting that Donald Trump is or isn't a good president, and you just want to learn more, well, then I'd suggest watching the stream.
Yeah, well, what I was going to say about the Jimmy Kimmel thing is, I think that we've gotten to a point as a society within political entertainment where we're no longer trying to take on points of importance, and it's more just an attacking stance. Because if you see that in the origin of political entertainment, it goes all the way back to Fox in like sometime in the 1900s. I don't know exactly when. But
what does this have to do with why you support Trump? Or what does this have to do with the government canceling Jimmy Kimmel's show and posing a large threat to freedom of speech?
Yeah, so I'll get to that point if I'm allowed to continue to speak. But
right, like what you're doing,
like your show, and I get that if you want to.
What you're doing right now is you're attempting to like demonstrate that maybe the speech of Jimmy Kimmel wasn't as benevolent as you would like it to be, classifying it as some type of like rage baity reactionary political entertainment. But like, I don't think a good argument.
Me and put words in my mouth, I don't think that. Okay with that.
I don't think that a good.
Since you are the one who is the.
I don't think that a good argument for our government infringing upon the speech of the media and attempting to silence it because they don't like it is simply because it's not benevolent as possible.
Well, that's not what I was getting at. And if you let me finish talking, then I'd be able to get to the point that I'm trying to make.
Great.
But so. Within the political entertainment, we can see that Fox was the origin of starting to monetize off of this political entertainment.
Can you please get to the point?
I'm trying to. There's a lot that goes into this type of thing. We all know that this is a complex issue. And if we're truly trying to find a solution, then we're going to have to talk through a lot. So I get it if you want to just kick me off your podcast, or kick me off your live stream. But if you truly want to find the answers, you're going to have to take a little bit more time.
Start speaking and get to the point, please.
So, with Fox, they were the origin of political entertainment. They pioneered it. They also were the first people who started doing the ticker symbol at the bottom of the screen, just because they wanted to get as much information out there as they could, because they were in a financial drought. And with that, we started to see more and more exploitations of the news, more and more exploitations of the media. And we've got to a point now where everything is just say something because it will get you views. It doesn't matter whether it's true or whether it's not. And in order to figure out how to find a solution for that, we're going to need to start taking measures. And I know from experience from people who, like my friends who have worked in news, I who have worked in news, I who have worked in the booth, that when you get these jobs, you have to sign contracts that you are not allowed to speak on politics. And I think that there's an issue there. That if you are a person who's working a job, you're not allowed to speak on politics.
Dude, I'm so sorry. Can you get to the point?
I'm so sorry, but did you invite me to talk about my opinion?
Yeah.
And try to get to the point?
Yeah, we're having a debate, man. It's just been like.
You just want to shut me up?
It's been 5 minutes of trying to get to the point, and we haven't gotten to the point yet. So I apologize. I'm obviously being a little bit impatient, but I'd like to get to the point if that's possible. I'll try to be kinder.
Well, yeah,
I'll try to be nicer about it. I'll try to be a little bit more patient. Okay, that's fair.
If you want me to just shut up and stop talking?
No, I just want you to give to the point. What is the point?
But I mean, I was getting there. So
okay, please get there, please.
Currently, within political entertainment, sign. If you're working in a booth, if you're working with the camera, you have to sign that you are not going to talk about politics.
You already said this. Stop repeating yourself.
Well, if you You're telling me to get to the point, so I need to rehash what I'm saying to be able to fully get to the point.
Okay.
And so if you want me to get to the point, then I can get there. But you just gotta let me talk.
Get to the
but
point.
If you don't want to let me talk,
just please get to the point.
Am I going to be interrupted this time?
No, just get to the point, man.
All right. So if you work in news, you have to sign that you will not talk about politics on your own personal socials with other people.
More than 2 words per minute?
Well, if I talk faster, you cut me off. So I'm just trying to try new things.
Get to the goddamn point. I'm losing my patience.
Do you actually want to discuss, or do you want to just...
I want you to get to the point. Please?
All right, are you patient enough yet?
Yes, get to the point.
All right. So if you work in these positions, you're not allowed to talk about politics. And with the Jimmy Kimmel situation, he's working in a position where he can't talk about the politics. And that's where the issue of political entertainment gets. Because you're juxtaposing a serious situation, a serious stage with unserious topics. And so, no, I don't agree with fully kicking him off air. But I do agree with us as a society reaching that point of news is no longer taken as news. News is fully taken as entertainment.
Okay, please now get to the point. Now that what's the point?
You keep saying, please get to the point, but I've made the point.
What
news
is the
now
point?
is entertainment.
Oh, what
and
is
that we need
okay,
to...
so you're okay. Well, you could have said that. Okay, you didn't need to take 5 minutes to say news is now entertainment. Okay, so you're telling us the point.
I mean, I kind of did need to take it, or else you would have taken something that I didn't say out of my own mouth.
So now you're saying that the point of the last 10 minutes of nonsense is that news is now entertainment. Okay, so your point is that now news is entertainment. What the fuck does this have to do with me bringing up the fact that Donald Trump is playing a wannabe king by attempting to silence those that speak negatively upon him by doing something like canceling Jimmy Kimmel's show, or by today saying that media organizations, he's saying that media organizations do not have the right to speak negatively upon him.
Did he sign the order that canceled his show?
Yeah, there was no order. The Trump administration pressured ABC into canceling his show, and then ABC came out. If you'd allow me to finish. Dude, I let you talk for 5 minutes. You will not interrupt me.
No, you didn't. You kept cutting me off saying get to the point, get to the point.
Now you're cutting me off every 2 seconds. So the Trump administration influenced and pressured ABC into canceling Jimmy Kimmel's show, as well as ABC has now come out and said that they don't personally think that he crossed any line that would warrant cancellation, once again just re-demonstrating that it was Trump's FCC under Trump's direction, in which ultimately allowed enough pressure to go into the cancellation. And then Donald Trump turned around and applauded that fact on Truth Social. And today Donald Trump said himself on Air Force One that, yeah, media organizations do not have the right to criticize him.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, and then the chairman of the FCC said on Twitter that, yeah, this is all part of Project 2025.
I mean, yeah, I don't agree with fully turning someone's voice off. And I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about...
Okay, so then how could you possibly support him as president? How could you possibly support him as president if he's infringing upon individuals' freedom of speech and shutting the voices off of political pundits and news, and now saying that the media can't even criticize him? How can you possibly still support him as president, even though these things are true?
Well, my question is, what else am I going to support? I'm not asking this as a gotcha moment. I'm asking that as hey, truly, what is the better opposition currently?
I don't even understand the words that are coming out of your mouth. It's either that you support him as president because you think that he's doing a good job, or you don't support him as president because you don't think he's doing a good job.
Well,
what I'm trying to demonstrate is that these actions would relevantly demonstrate that he's not doing a good job as president, and he's harmful to this country, and he's eroding the backbone of this country, which would be the American Constitution and the rights in which it guarantees unto us, demonstrating that this is not a president that you should support, as he is not doing a good job, harming this country, and harming the core American and harming core values of this country.
I mean, as I started this conversation with, I'm in a position where I, in the last election, decided that between the two...
Respond to what I said. Respond to what I said.
So I am responding to what you said.
You're not responding to what I said. Once again, I'm trying to like set the dichotomy. You support him if he's doing a good job, overall helping the country, and you don't support him if he's doing a bad job or overall hurting the country. Can we agree
it's a false
that
dichotomy because you're saying that it's only one or two. And it's not that. It's a complex issue. It's not something that you can say, hey, you either do this or you don't do this.
Actually, yes. It is a true dichotomy that you either support him or you do not support him. It is either true that you support him or it is false that you support him. There's no in between.
I don't think you understand how psychology works if you think that that's how
I don't think that you
works.
understand how the laws of logic work. Logic dictates that something is either true or false. Therefore, it is either true or false that you support him.
Something is not either true or false.
I want you to demonstrate clearly to us all something that is not either true or false.
Schrodinger's cat.
Schrodinger's cat is 2 words. You're going to have to be a little bit more descriptive.
Do you not know what Schrodinger's cat is?
I want you to describe it to us and demonstrate a proposition that is not true or false.
So Schrodinger's cat is the box that has the cat in it. And the box, when you open it, the cat is either dead or alive. But at the state where the box has not been opened, there is an uncertainty, and there's no way it is a false dichotomy to be able to say with certainty.
Well, exactly.
Whether or
Now you're
not-
equivocating. You're saying that you don't know if it's true or false, but ultimately it is either true or false. Like I don't know.
So what I'm asking for.
I don't know if you're wearing red shoes or not red shoes, but ultimately you are either wearing red shoes or not red shoes.
What I'm asking for.
No, respond to what I just said there, how you're equivocating between it actually being true or false or just not having certainty or reason to believe that it's true or false. Right? For instance, right, before we had any reason to believe that the earth was round, the earth still was actually round, right? It was actually round or actually not round.
Dean, I'm just trying to get to a point.
No,
where,
respond
as
to
I
that.
said-
Shut the fuck up and respond to that. I want
Dude,
you to
I'm
agree
trying
here
to- I'm
with
trying
the
to say that
description
I
that I
want
just
here-
gave, that things are either true or false.
Dude, Dean, I'm saying that I came into this saying that I don't know truly where I stand politically.
Dude,
and I'm
dude,
trying
why
to
are you
figure that out.
moving away? I'm not asking you if you know
Because
truly
I'm
where you
saying
stand
that the
politically.
attack that you're taking isn't-
Oh my God, you are driving me insane, dude. You posited the claim that things are not either true or false. Okay, then I asked you for an example of something that is not true or false. You said Schrodinger's cat. You don't have certainty and knowledge that it is true or false until you open the box. And then I responded to that by telling you, although you may not know if it's true or false, it ultimately still is either true or false. Can you please respond to that? You are driving me absolutely insane. I want you to respond to that.
Respond to what? What's the question?
Dude, I didn't ask a question. I gave you a response to your example where you attempted to
And then I
demonstrate.
respond and you say, answer the question. And then I start to answer a question and you say, respond to it. So I'm just curious, what do you want me to say?
I want you to respond to my refutation.
You want
of
to,
the-
you
Oh
can
my
email me the
God.
script you want me to say if you want for your
What the
soundbite.
fuck is going on? I want you to respond to the example that you attempted to provide of something that is not either true or false.
Sorry, can you say that one more time?
I want you to respond to my refutation of the example that you attempted to provide to demonstrate that something cannot either be true or false.
What do you mean?
Dude, okay, you are brainless. Get the hell off my live. We're going to move on to the next guest. Hop in that queue if you support Trump. We're going to go to get that next guest loaded up in here, dude. Dude, I'm cortisol maxing right now for no goddamn reason. Why am I doing this to myself? I am cortisol maxing for no reason at all. Why am I doing this to myself? I'm going to be bald by 23 if I continue down this road. I'm going to be bald by 23 if I continue down this road. Let's go and get that next guest loaded up into the box, guys. So I'm not going to be bald by 23. Go ahead and hop in that box if you happen to be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president. And if you want to come up here and have a conversation with me about why that guy was like truly just like not smart at all. Like, dude, he didn't even like possess the faculties to converse. He didn't possess the faculties to conversate. We're going to move on to the next guest, guys. Once again, we are only looking for American adults that support Trump. If you do support Trump and you're an American adult, go ahead and hop in that queue. We're going to get you loaded up. Well, let's go to get that next guest, Liam, up in here literally right now. Oh, my God. Ooh, I need to calm down after that one. What's up, Liam? Do you support Trump?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up, man? You MAGA?
No. All
right. Then I'm going to have to kick you. Make sure that we're following the rules, please. Moving on to Chase. Here we go, y'all. What's up? How old are you? Are you here? I'm going to give you 5 seconds. Nope, they're not here, guys. Make sure that we're following the rules. Make sure if you find yourself in that queue that you are an American adult that does indeed support Trump. As well as we got a couple people to thank. Lachlan, thank you so much for the $25 donation over on PayPal. Show some love to Lachlan down below in that comment section. I really appreciate you for the 25 bucks. As well as what is going on, Celtic. Do you support Trump? Why are all the guests silent?
I do.
Oh, you do? Awesome. How old are you? You sound of age. Okay. Let me go. Go ahead.
I'm 37 years old.
Yeah, I trust you. I'm going to go ahead and thank...
I'm 37 years old from Tennessee.
Awesome, man. I'm going to go ahead and thank 4 people here before we hop into the debate. You guys have been so incredibly kind over on PayPal. First and foremost, Kathy. Thank you so much for the $50 donation over on PayPal. Kathy says, thank you for getting rid of him. Love what you do. Thank you, Kathy. Bro, let's get 500 Kathy W's down below in that chat. Thank you so much for the $50. That is so kind of you. As well as Dorinda and Sophie with the $50. Holy fuck, you guys. Dorinda with the $50 says, Dean, please keep speaking and never let them silence you. I think that you are such a smart young man and you give me overwhelming hope for the future. Dorinda, it is so good to see you again. You've been here a handful of times before. I love and appreciate the hell out of you. Thank you for your kind words and the $50 donation. And then Sophie with the $50 says, can you please send somebody to collect Donald Trump from the UK? He's not welcome here. I actually think that he's on his way back to America right now, so you don't got to deal with him any longer. He's back to the 50 states. Well, I appreciate you for that $50 donation. Show some love to Sophie. And then one more donation here from Lachlan with a $25 once again. Thank you so much. Lachlan says, you need to keep fighting the good fight. Thank you so much, man. Thank you guys so much for all the love. If you want to support me, you can support me on Venmo and PayPal found in the link tree in my bio or over on YT with the same Venmo and PayPal in the pinned comment. Now, Celtic, go ahead and take it away. Why do you support Trump?
So I support Trump. First and foremost, I believe that, he's one person that's standing up for our constitutional rights and our amendment rights, with especially the Second Amendment. That's something that I'm very strong on. Okay. So he's actually one of the worst presidents that we've had in modern American history, as it would relate to the Constitution. So he has been belligerently infringing upon the First Amendment. So he started his First Amendment infringement when he passed an executive order to try to ban the burning of the American flag. SCOTUS ruled in the 80s that was constitutionally protected. And literally today, he said that the media doesn't have the right to speak negatively about him. He said today that they're okay, but would you agree that literally
please,
America's the only... Oh, I'm sorry. Please. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Dean.
Literally today, he said that the media does not have the right to criticize him. That is an belligerent infringement upon freedom of speech. And yesterday, he literally got Jimmy Kimmel canceled, right, for saying something that he didn't like, which once again was yet another threat to freedom of speech.
Okay. So didn't you know that in America, it's the only country where you can burn a flag and not get in trouble for it? You cannot get in prison for it. Like you take Mexico, for example. If you burn a flag, you're mandatory going to prison for 5 years. Mandatory. You cannot desecrate a flag of your country.
Okay. And do you think that like countries like banning burning of the American flag is authoritarian?
I would say that it's also a sign of political violence. Yes.
So it's like political violence to throw people in jail for burning the flag?
No.
Or it's like political violence to burn the flag in and of itself?
You're supposed to be standing for your country.
Okay. Well, first and foremost,
if you don't like the country that you live in, there's other countries you can choose to be a part of and choose to live at. But if you're going to desecrate your own country's flag.
I don't think that it's political violence to burn the flag.
Why?
Well, why do you think that it's political violence?
Because, again, it's the country that you're in.
Okay.
The country that you stand for. And if you look at it, who are the individuals that are burning the flag? You don't see conservatives burning the flag. It's a Democratic Party or the Liberal Party, right? Okay. All the left wing.
So are you saying that it's political violence because Democrats do it? That's not a good argument.
If you had both parties doing it, obviously there's going to be a problem within the government, correct? But if you only have one side that's burning the flag, you have the other side that's literally just saying, hey, we love our country. Okay, you are creating political violence because that is something that our military has fought the freedom for.
Okay,
and so a lot of them.
So if you infringe upon, so you're saying that you think that the military has fought for these freedoms.
that are represented by the flag, so therefore it is politically violent to burn the flag, as it is disrespectful and disgraceful to the freedoms that our military fought for. Okay, so I'm actually just going to go ahead and grant you this argument so I could use the point to make a larger argument. Kimberly, thank you for the galaxy. For the intents and purposes of our conversation today, it is political violence to burn the flag because it is disrespectful towards the freedoms that our military has died for. So this just means that we have never had a president that is more politically violent than Trump himself, because not only has he disrespected the freedoms that our military died for, but he is now infringing on them. He infringed on the freedoms that the military fought for yesterday when he got Jimmy Kimmel canceled for saying things that he didn't like. He is actively infringing upon the freedoms offered under the First Amendment today when he says that the media doesn't have a right to critique him. He infringed on the freedoms offered under the 14th Amendment his very first day in office when he signed Executive Order number 14160 into law that attempted to ban birthright citizenship for the children of undocumented immigrants born on the soil, even though SCOTUS has guaranteed it to them since 1865. He infringed and disrespected the freedoms that our military fought and died for when he said he wanted to run for a third term and there's ways he could do it, even though that is explicitly condemned and made unconstitutional through the 22nd Amendment. Using your logic, you are compelled to call Donald Trump a politically violent president. What is your response?
Can you hear me? A politically violent president? You know, Dean, I will say that I agree with you to a certain point on it. And I think the problem is that we have used political violence between both parties, and it's through the attacking of each other. Would you not agree with that?
I think that it becomes significantly worse when it is being used as a tool of legal oppression of the rights of citizens by the president.
By the president. What about the people running for it? And it's not about switching. I'm not switching by any means.
What about the people running for the president? Yeah, no, it's different because they're not the president.
Okay, but if let's say they're trying to become president, do you not see the political violence that is held between each other through the Democratic Party and the Republican Party of the attacks even on their personal life from both sides to what it is when you just got one party that's actually in office that continues attacking the Democratic Party instead of focusing on... So, meaning that it's all like we have used political violence literally throughout all of our presidential elections, every single one.
Oh, you mean like 2020 with like the insurrection on the Capitol and Donald Trump's fake electorate plot?
I'm talking even going back even to George W. Bush, Bill Clinton eras. We have all used political violence.
What about Kamala Harris?
What about Kamala Harris?
Has she used political violence?
Has she come forth with negative things said about Trump in his personal life, trying to belittle him and what he is?
Wait, you think that speaking negatively about a rapist is political violence?
Where's there proof in him being a rapist?
Oh, I'll happily give that to you after we finish our conversation about you supporting the president that is apparently politically violent in accordance with your own logic, but the evidence would be the finding of a unanimous jury of 9 inside of a civil court. But we'll talk about that next. I don't want to pivot. Once again, you're telling me that you think it's politically violent to burn the American flag because it disrespects the rights and liberties that our military fought for. And then I demonstrated that that would make Donald Trump the most politically violent president in modern American history because of all of his disrespects and attacks on constitutional rights serving in his 2 terms as president. How can you possibly support the most politically violent president in modern American history?
Well, that's where I went back and said from your first question of that, I said it was about I'm a big advocate for the Second Amendment.
So you're not going to respond to anything that I just said?
Well, I just responded to what you just said.
No, saying that you're a big advocate for the Second Amendment does not respond to my question. How could you possibly support the most politically violent, constitutionally oppressive president in modern American history?
Because everything that you were saying, especially with him being a rapist, is all about speculation.
Wait, I didn't even bring up him being a rapist in the question that I just asked you. Once again, the question is, how can you support the most politically violent and constitutionally oppressive president in modern American history?
What makes him the most politically violent president?
Yo, yeah, well, for sure. Because once again, you define political violence as disrespect to the rights that our military has fought for. He's infringed upon the First Amendment, he's infringed upon the 14th Amendment, and he's infringed upon the 22nd Amendment. And, not to mention, the fake electorate plot in 2020 to do with the insurrection upon the American Capitol and his attempt to install votes for himself in the American Congress to steal and rig the election away from Biden. You would not be able to give me the name of another president, any Democrat, that has done more to harm our Constitution, the rights it guarantees to us, or our civil and electoral processes in this country that has done worse since literally the Civil War.
So did you say that Trump stole the election from Biden?
He tried to.
That's what you just said.
Yeah, he tried to.
Okay. So then, did Biden steal the election from Trump?
No.
In the second term? No. So how did Trump steal the election from Biden?
No, he tried to steal it in 2020 by installing votes for himself.
How did he try to steal it?
Yeah, for sure. By installing fake votes for himself in Congress, by sending fake slates of electorates to 7 of the key swing states that Biden had won with fake votes that said Trump won, and then he directed those fake slates of electors to send those fake votes back to Congress, and he is admitted to this all. His argument in court, once Jack Smith brought litigation against him for it, was that, yeah, he did these things, but he was president while he did them, therefore he should be immune from criminal repercussions.
I didn't know that, honestly. And thank you for clarifying that, because
of course
that's what these are for, right? If we can please jump, because I know you got a lot of other people that want to get in, but I would like your position on the Second Amendment.
Well, dude, I don't want to jump because once again, the question remains that you haven't answered. How can you support the most politically violent and constitutionally oppressive president since the Civil War?
I answered that from the beginning because I feel as if he's somebody that's fighting for our liberties and for, the protection of our amendment rights. And honestly, I love his business ethics.
Dude, wait. You're responding to my question, presupposing, giving the arguments that I've already described, that he is infringing upon our liberties and rights, infringing on the amendments of the Constitution, by saying in response that he's actually upholding them. But I thought that we've already been through how that's not what he's doing. He's infringed on the First Amendment with attempting to ban burning of the American flag and silencing the media saying they can't speak negatively upon him. He's infringed on the Second Amendment, which was your big one, when he passed the bump stock ban in his first term. One second. When he passed the bump stock ban in his first term, leading to SCOTUS ruling that is unconstitutional, and now directing the Justice Department to attempt to ban gun ownership for all trans Americans, which now even the NRA has said is unconstitutional. He's infringed upon the 14th Amendment when he tried to rescind and take away birthright citizenship away from the children of undocumented immigrants born on American soil. And he's called for the termination of the 22nd Amendment when he said that he wants to run for a third term and he thinks he knows how to get it done. And in December of 2022, he called for termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found in the Constitution. Your claim, that he protects our rights, protects our liberties, and is good for the amendments offered under the American Constitution is objectively false. And please, if you contest the conclusion I just formed, don't do so by repeating that you disagree, but rather do so by responding to the individual specific points that I just gave you, referencing his attack and infringement upon the First Amendment, Second Amendment, 14th Amendment, and 22nd Amendment.
Okay, first and foremost, from what you just started with, the American flag. Do you think it's appropriate to burn the American flag?
It doesn't matter if it's appropriate or not. It is constitutionally protected per SCOTUS ruling from 1989.
Okay, why can you not answer my question?
Because it's completely irrelevant to if it is constitutionally protected or not.
Okay, so again, it's about doing what's right.
No, the Constitution, it doesn't direct individuals to do what is right in all scenarios ever. Like, it's not right to spread misinformation, yet, in a lot of senses, the First Amendment protects your right to spread most misinformation. It's not always about the Constitution.
You believe that the Constitution should be directed by the Supreme Court of what can be changed and what cannot?
The Constitution is interpreted by the Supreme Court per the Constitution in Article 4.
Interpreted, but can the Supreme Court, do you believe the Supreme Court should have any legal action that when it comes to the Constitution of what can be changed and what cannot?
I like
Because
yes,
that's a huge
they should have the legal action to change the interpretation of the amendments. Like that, but that's what it is. Yes, to change the interpretation via a reinterpretation that is fair. But if we want to actually talk about changing and amending the Constitution, that power would fall vested inside of Congress.
I got you. I understand. Well, I will say, Dean, myself, I actually have to run. I got to get to work, but I do want to say I appreciate you 100%. I've watched a lot of your videos, a lot of your clips, and there's a lot of things that you've changed my mind and my direction on. So, it's just one of those to where I'm still conservative, but I see a lot of the leftist side, and I do respect it because you guys are right on a lot of it. So,
all right, man. Well, I appreciate you for coming up, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. You take care now.
You too. Thanks, guys.
He couldn't respond. He couldn't respond. I got him stun locked, just like the guest before him. We're gonna move on to the next guest. Go ahead and hop in that queue if you happen to support Trump as president, and if you're an American adult, we'll get you pulled up here. In the meantime, hey, dude, Michael White, thank you for the $50 super chat over on YouTube. Now, Michael White's message with the $50. Let's get 500 Michael W's while we're looking for that next Trump supporter. Michael says, MAGA logic, the Constitution is sacred unless dear leader says otherwise. That was basically what that last guest wasn't saying. Because his first and only argument coming up here was, well, he thinks that the Constitution is sacred and the amendments matter. But then when I clearly describe how Donald Trump vehemently disagrees and is infringed on those amendments, it's a whole different story. He just doesn't even respond. But I appreciate you for the $50, Michael, as well as Angel. Thank you so much for the $10 over on Super Chat. Thank you so much, Angel. And then Samantha with the $20 on Super Chat. Show some love to Angel and Samantha down below. Samantha didn't leave a message, only the love. Thank you for being here, and thank you for the $20. What's going on, man? Do you support Trump?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. How old are you?
I'm 19 years old.
Cool. What year were you born in?
I was born in 2006.
All right, awesome. Let me go and thank a handful more people here. Kennedy and Kelly, I appreciate you both for the $5 and the $7 over on Venmo. Thank you. Eliza, thank you for the $10 on Venmo. Thank you. Hannah with the $15 says, good to be back watching you and getting more educated from you. Let's fucking go, Hannah. Appreciate you for being here and thank you for the $15. As well as Rachel with the $20 on Venmo. When that last guest was asking, name one other country where it's not illegal to burn the American flag, Rachel informed us that it is Norway, Sweden, Denmark, Canada, and Australia. There's no flag desecration laws there. Thank you, Rachel, and thank you for the $20 as well. As well as Mex, that is MEX. Thank you for the $25 over on Venmo. Mex says, I'm so glad you are someone who isn't afraid of stating facts and protecting our rights. Thank you. Well, I appreciate you for being here, and that's what we do. I appreciate you for the $25. Show some love to Mex down below in that chat, as well as Lauren with the $15. Thank you, Lauren, as well as I'll make sure I read your messages there. Thank you so much. Laser with the $5. I'm not going to read your message. Fuck you, Laser, but thank you for the $5. As well as Amy, I see you. I'm going to go and thank you here in a little bit. Go ahead and take it away, Crown. Why do you support Trump?
Hey, Dean. My name's Aiden McCourt, by the way. I know I have a crown on my thing, but my name's Aiden. The reason that I support Trump is a lot of it has to swing with my family as well. Family kind of persuades a little bit in that kind of aspect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
I'd like to clarify here. I guess when I'm asking you how do you still support Trump? Why do you support Trump? I'm asking you for justification. And obviously we could agree your social conditioning isn't justification for the beliefs.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's the thing. It's going to be a second for me to kind of adjust to this because I honestly had no clue I was going to get picked. But it's also a thing is I'm not the most educated on this kind of stuff. I mean, I'm a college student. I'm in my college dorm right now. And, I want to get more educated on this kind of stuff because, it's my future. This is something that's literally going to be my future. And I want to know more and want to understand more, but I do also want to hear kind of more of your opinion on a couple of things that I'm going to kind of talk about here.
Well, sure. Here's what I recommend. If you want to make an argument for why Trump is a good president, I will happily give you my opinion and respond to it. We can debate. However, if you're just more so looking for a general sense of what I think and why, I just recommend watching this stream. But like I said, if you have an argument why he's a good president, feel free to give it.
Okay, so a lot of it has to do with his unprecedented economic statute on things. So American I'll read a couple things off. I have a little something here just to kind of help me walk through it. So
hell yeah.
If I'm wrong in a couple of things, you just let me know. All right. So what I'm seeing so far and what I've also heard from my family as well is it says America's gained over 7 million new jobs, more than 3 times the government experts projections, and jobless claims had hit a nearly 50-year low.
Ooh, okay. You're going to be responding to April of 2019 under Donald Trump's first term. You're talking about April of 2019 under Donald Trump's first administration when the general unemployment rate was 3.5%. I'm sorry, I had to reach very far back into my mind.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
That one was hard. So you're right. In April of 2019, our unemployment rate being 3.5% was the lowest it had been in 50 years. However, that was beat twice under the Biden-Harris administration with a 3.3% level of unemployment and a 3.4% level of unemployment. And I doubt you'd be able to attribute any policy that Trump passed that caused that low level of unemployment in his first administration. And to finish here, in his second administration, we actually see that long-term unemployment is at an all-time high since 2017. We see that unemployment has been steadily rising, and for the first time in modern American history, we now see that there are more unemployed Americans than there are open job opportunities.
Yes. All right. And then another one of the things that I see and I kind of know a little bit about is the unemployment rates for African Americans, Hispanic Americans, Asian Americans, Native Americans, veterans, individuals with disabilities, and those without a high school diploma all reach an all-record low.
Once again, April of 2019, the unemployment rate the unemployment rate for Black Americans was 5.4%. This was beat twice under the Biden-Harris administration. July of 2022, I think it was either 4.9% or 5.2%. Then we saw a 5.3% later in their term. So same thing.
Okay, I was going to say, it says also right here, it does say African American ownership increased from 41.7% to 46.4%.
Okay, so what did Donald Trump do to increase Black American home ownership?
To be honest with you, I don't really know on that part.
Okay, well, I mean, if you can attribute any action that he did, it's worth evaluating that because basically your argument here is just kind of blaming whatever happened in the economy on him, and that's not a good train of thought. For instance, if I want to use your logic here, I could just suggest that it is the case that he caused the highest level of unemployment that we've seen in modern American history simply because it happened under his term in 2019 at 14.8%.
And what's your opinion on the tax relief for the middle class?
On the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act? Well, I mean, the middle class didn't get any tax relief in his second term. He passed a big, beautiful bill, and according to the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, don't know who paid for those bots in the chat. Get out of here. According to the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, in his second term, when he passed a big, beautiful bill in July 4th, I believe. I think he passed it on July 4th. It is the case that, according to the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, the purchasing power of the average American went down.
Yeah. And I'm a bit confused on why the whole what you talk about, what you mean by the whole oil situation, like the whole the drill, because I see a few things on TikTok when I see you talk about he'll just come into your backyard, bam, oil well, or bam, drill oil.
I don't know what you're asking me, if I'm going to be honest, but
what is your opinion on? I
think that you're better off just watching the stream.
Okay.
And I do got to say at this point, I'm gonna have to move on. Nothing to do with
That's
you.
fine.
It's just that the TikTok live actually just got restricted, so I got to restart.
Okay. Yeah, I understand that. All right. Hey, God bless you, Dean. Thank you for everything you've done for your community, and thank you for everything that you continue to do. I know you're not a person to be like any other people that just kind of just push this away and push other people away, not hear other people's opinions. So I do appreciate you for that.
I appreciate you for coming up here and being curious. I think that's awesome. You should continue
Absolutely.
to be curious and continue to do your research. Much respect to you, man. You take care.
Is there absolutely any way that I can pray for you or no?
Sure. You can pray for me if you want. Take it away. However, guys, for the 19,000 people hanging out with us over on TikTok right now, unfortunately, I am going to have to go ahead and restart the stream because we did get a restriction on the stream, which is super unfortunate. I mean, it happens every once in a while. So I'm going to go ahead and quickly tell you guys how to come back. It is incredibly easy. So when the stream ends, make sure to follow me right now. You'll be able to see that follow button in the top left-hand corner there. Go ahead and hit that follow button. And B, once the stream ends, you will see something that looks a lot like this pop up on your phone screen. If you click on my profile picture there in the middle of that live has ended screen, you will then be directed to my account page. If you count to 10 and refresh and then click back in on the profile picture up here, you will be directed to the new live. These restarts take 4 seconds. I'm pretty sure last time I timed a restart, it literally took me 4 seconds. So they are very, very, very quick. We're going to go ahead and do that now. For those on YouTube, you're good. For those on TikTok, I'm going to start counting down from 10. And by the time I'm at 1, I'll already be back on live for the new stream. 10. Yeah. There you go, my friend. We're going to move on to the next guest right now. Hop in that queue if you happen to support Trump. Let's go to get that next guest loaded up and connected to the stream right now. We got that Wandering Pirate loading in. Ronja with the $5 on PayPal asks, did you always want to do this? I've wanted to do this for a while. So before it was like, like the career that you all know, I just did it for fun. I remember that. I would just stay up. I'd literally stay up until 4 a.m. debating people because I just really genuinely loved it. What's up, Isaac? Do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
How old are you?
18.
What year were you born in?
2007.
What month?
March.
Can you disconnect any Bluetooth or external headphones connected to your device?
Is this better?
Yeah, it is. It is. Hey, Wesley, I appreciate you for the $10 over on YouTube Super Chat, and Martha with the $10 as well. I'm going to go ahead and read both of your messages to myself because I'm going to hop into this next debate. But Martha and Wesley, you guys are awesome and appreciate you so much. Go ahead and take away, Isaac. Why do you support the worst president of your 18 years of life, Mr. Trump?
I just support his beliefs more than Kamala.
Okay, which ones?
Anyway, I want to get your opinion on the host that got taken off the show last night.
I'll absolutely give you my opinion on Jimmy Kimmel getting taken off air by Trump. I think that it is a blatant authoritarian move from a wannabe dictator that is now silencing the opposition that dissents and speaks negatively upon him. And this is only galvanized by the fact that earlier today on Air Force One, he told journalists that media organizations that hit him or speak negatively on him don't have a right to do it. It's incredibly authoritarian, and it's so upsetting to me that people still support him, even though he has taken such a drastic step in such a drastic direction.
So I don't think that it was mostly about. I think is because he was mocking Charlie Kirk's death, in my opinion.
Yeah, he didn't mock Charlie. Well, first and foremost, he didn't mock Charlie Kirk's death. What he said is that the shooter may be MAGA. And second of all, I don't think that our government should be able to silence opposition even if they were to mock Charlie Kirk's death.
Okay, I'm just saying that I think that's why he did it, because they were basically messing around with Charlie Kirk's death, which I think is a very serious manner.
Okay, well, no, he wasn't. He was just saying that the shooter may be MAGA. And I don't, but I want to clarify once again, I do not think that our government should have the right to forcefully silence opposition, even if they were to mock the death of someone.
Let's hop into abortion.
Okay. Well. Okay. Wow. Sorry, I just needed a moment to mentally reset there.
Of course.
Okay. All right. Abortion sounds good. Do you think that abortion should be banned?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Do you think it should also be banned in circumstances of rape?
Of course.
You said of course?
The baby does not change, even if it's rape or if it's
say great. Put a G in front of it for TikTok TOS. I guess you're just going to be picking up on the argument the last guy made before he got banned. I'm going to go to ask you the same question. Yeah, what fucking obligation would a victim of rape have to allow her bodily resources to be forcefully and unconsensually taken by her, by the fetus, to keep the fetus alive?
Because it's still murder.
From her. That doesn't answer my question. What was my question?
Repeat your question, please.
Yeah, my question was, what obligation would the victim of rape have to unconsensually and forcibly provide her bodily resources to the fetus to sustain its life?
Their obligation would be that, let's say they did get an abortion, it would be murder if they did. It would be murder.
Okay, well, so you're not answering the question, bruh. We're just gonna go ahead and throw that question out because you just don't have the faculties to comprehend the question.
Let
That's
me get your
fine.
side.
No. We'll be able to attack this argument.
Let me get your side.
No, because I want to be able to give you a counter argument against this. You didn't understand the first counter argument by me asking you what obligation would exist to sustain the life of the fetus. You just repeated that you think it's murder. So now we're gonna go ahead and move on to a second argument here. And this argument is going to employ a analogy, a hypothetical scenario. Here's a question. So if you made just enough money to buy yourself food to survive, and someone was breaking into your house in the middle of the night and taking half of it, and you knew they were going to do this for the next 9 months, okay? And you knew if they continued to come into your house in the middle of the night and take half of your food, you'd be physically starved, physically unwell, and it might even onset a lot of mental unwellness and turmoil. And there was around like a 3 to 5% chance that you would die by at the end of this from starvation. And all that you'd have to do in this hypothetical to prevent this person from stealing half of your food in the middle of the night, leading to all these negative consequences for the next 9 months,
This makes no. All right,
would be to lock your front door at night. If you lock your front door at night, you will prevent this person from taking half of your resources. However, because they will no longer have your resources, they are going to die from starvation. Do you think it should be illegal to lock your front door at night and prevent this person from taking half of your resources, even if that causes them to die from starvation?
Well, obviously not.
Oh, okay. So like the conceptual takeaway here would be that you have no obligation to provide your resources to a non-consenting third party, even if you taking your resources away from them causes their death. So therefore, a victim of rape would have no obligation to provide her bodily resources to the non-consenting third party of the fetus, even if her taking those resources away from the fetus by taking an abortion pill would inevitably starve and kill the fetus. Boom.
Well, let's say it's not grape.
No, I want you to respond to that argument. No pivot. Let's say it's not grape. I want you to respond to that argument. Go ahead.
Well, my only response to that argument is what I've already said, and then you're just going to say that I didn't respond to your question. So
what's the response?
That it would be murder.
But the reason it wouldn't be murder is the same reason it wouldn't be murder for you to lock your front door at night in the analogy that I gave you, even if that person that starved to death because you locked your front door at night and prevented them from accessing your resources died. That's the reason why it wouldn't be murder. We use the analogy to refute the idea that it would be murder.
Okay. But can we just say if it wasn't grape? What's your opinion?
Why would I allow you to pivot?
Okay. So you're not going to give me your opinion on whether, if it's not grape, would you be against it or would you be with it?
Fine, I'll give you my opinion, but then I'm going to circle right back to having you respond to that position. Yeah, I think that elective abortion should be legal, but now go ahead and respond to the analogy that I gave you to demonstrate that even you think victims of rape should be able to access abortion, as they have no obligation to provide their bodily resources to the fetus.
So my only argument is that, all right, do you think the fetus should have human rights?
Yeah, actually, in this analogy for victims of rape, you could literally assume that the fetus would have the right to life, just like we would know the person that would be stealing half of your resources in the middle of the night would also have the right to life, yet you still don't think you're doing anything wrong if you prevent them from accessing your resources and they starve as a result.
Let's get rid of this random scenario and let's get rid.
No, we're not going to get rid of it because it proves a conceptual point that
no, because
like you're under no obligation to provide your resources to a non-consenting third party, even if they die as a result. If you cut them off from your resources,
Dean, it's not someone breaking in. It's grape. Let's get rid of this breaking in scenario.
Thank you so much for the galaxy. Yeah, you're literally saying, Dean, because you're better at debating than I, and you have now successfully demonstrated an analogous scenario that demonstrates the conceptual relevancy and significantly morally relevant takeaway, which would be that you're under no obligation to provide for the resources of a non-consenting third party, even if cutting them off kills them, which would demonstrate that it is not wrong for a victim of rape to access abortion. Your response is to say, well, Dean, because I can't beat it, we're just going to ignore it. That is not how debate works. Stop being anti-intellectualist.
So you think it's okay to kill a human with human rights? All right, no grape. No grape. So you think it's okay?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I'm not going to tell you anything until you respond to the argument that I gave you to demonstrate that you should think that victims of rape should be able to access abortion, even if you give the fetus human rights.
All right, fine. I'll agree to you to that. But let's just go with normal. No grape.
Yeah, because I don't think that the life of the fetus is valuable.
And why is that?
Because I can't identify any trait of that fetus that would be morally valuable.
So you're saying it doesn't have human rights?
Yeah, because I think that morally valuable traits are what would grant us our rights. So, like, what is true of the fetus that you think grants it the right to live?
Because it is a human.
Because it's a human? Do you think that it's murder to pull the plug on a brain dead patient in a hospital? They're also human and alive.
No, because they'll have no chance of survival, which the fetus will.
Okay, so then you're saying that it has the right to live not because it's human, but rather because it has a chance of future survival?
Let's say the fetus is perfectly healthy, and it will 99.9% survive.
Can you clarify on that point? You're saying that it has the right to live not because it's human, but rather because it has a chance of future survival.
Sorry, say again. My bad.
Are you saying that that fetus has the right to live not because it's human, but rather because it has a chance of future survival?
No, because it is human and it has a chance of survival. Like if the fetus had almost 0% chance of living and it's going to harm the mother, then yeah, I would say abortion.
Okay, so what is in that fetus's future that you find morally relevant enough, morally valuable enough to give the fetus the right to life?
Because it will be a person with human rights.
A person? So it's going to be a person. Are you saying, like, when you say person, what do you mean? Like, is it going to have
human
a
being.
consciousness?
A human being, yes.
It's not going to be that it is going to be a human being in the future. It's that it already is a human being right now.
It already is a human being.
So then what is going to happen in its future that's going to make it morally valuable?
It'll be the same.
Wait, so then there'd be no change in the states. So, like, what is true of the state of the fetus as it exists right now that gives it the right to live? Because it's not the fact that it's merely human, because we've already demonstrated that that trait of mere humanity is not enough to warrant human rights under your view, as you don't think that brain dead patients have the right to live, even though they are also merely human.
Exactly. If it's the same as you right now in a fetus, so that means a fetus should also get the same chance that you have.
Well, I think that there's going to be a big difference between me and the fetus. I think that big difference would be the fact that I can interact subjectively with the world around me due to the fact that I have consciousness. And that's why I don't give the right to life to the fetus until it develops low levels of consciousness at around the 20 through 24 week point.
So the only circumstances I would say it's okay to have an abortion is if the mother is going to die. Like that's like my only.
Okay, can you respond to the argument that I just gave you? So I've now given you, like, I feel like we're a little bit spread out now. We've touched on three things that you've made that you've given your position on, that I've responded to, that you pivoted away from. The first thing that you gave your position on that I responded to that you pivoted away from was the fact that you think that victims of rape shouldn't be able to access abortion. I give you an argument to demonstrate that you're flawed logic. So then we moved on to elective abortions. You told me that elective abortions are wrong because it's a human life and human lives grant the right to life. I responded in refuting that by demonstrating under your view the trait of being merely human is not what grants the right to life, given the fact that brain dead patients have the right to life. And now, like, you're pivoting to a third view, which isn't even an argument. It's just a further description that you think if the woman's life is on the line, then they should be able to access abortion. As well as Hart, I appreciate you so much for the globe. So could you, like, please respond to, like, any of the points that I've already given you? Oh, and then the fourth thing that we've jumped to that you haven't responded to is you asked me why I don't think that abortion is wrong, and I described my view as it relates to the lack of consciousness and or sentience in that of a fetus.
Lack of consciousness when it will survive and it will have a conscience and it will be able to breathe and talk just like us.
Yeah, we'll have those things in the future, but I'm not going to grant it the right that are consequential of those things until it actually has those things. Like, I'll give you an example here. Oh, like, I turned 21 on the 1st. 17 days ago, I turned 21. Does this mean that, like, a month ago before I was 21 and I was 20, because, I will be 21 in the future, that I should have the right to go to the liquor store and buy alcohol right now? No, I'd actually have to be 21
What you're
first,
saying,
right? And like, very similarly, even though the fetus, like, might have consciousness in the future, I don't care. It actually has to have low levels of subjective experiences in order to get the right to life first.
So you're saying since it does not have a conscience, a person that's blind has less rights, or deaf has less rights than a person that can see or talk?
No, because people that are blind and deaf are still conscious.
Exactly. All right. Oh my gosh, it's okay. So, well, give me something you would like me to answer. Like, well, just one thing. No. How about the second point that I made?
The second point that you made was that you think that abortion is wrong because it is a human and you think that humanity grants the right to life. My refutation to that point was the fact that you actually don't think that being merely human is what grants the right to life, given the fact that you don't think that brain dead patients have the right to life, even though they are human and alive.
So what's your question?
Well, I didn't give you a question. I gave you a counter argument to demonstrate why your position is internally contradictory.
Okay. So do you have like a question that you would want me to answer to prove my point or what?
Well, I'd hope that you'd be able to argue that your position is not internally contradictory, because if you are now seemingly conceding that it is internally contradictory, well, we like internally contradictory positions are always false since contradictions can't be true, meaning that your position on abortion is wrong.
If it is a human being that will be conscious and has 100% chance, 99.9% chance to live, you would still like to take that life away from the fetus?
I don't think there's anything wrong in ending it. And now your argument would be that that's murder. So let's actually use your logic. I'm going to go ahead and try to find a new angle here just because you haven't been able to engage in any of my angles so far. A unicellular human zygote is the first stage of human development that is present after the moment of conception. Would you say that it's murder to kill a unicellular human zygote since they will be conscious in the future?
I would say anything after the first 6 weeks is murder.
Wait, but why wouldn't it be murder before then? Because even before then, they will be conscious in the future. That's contradictory.
Don't have a counter argument on that one, not gonna lie.
No worries, man. Is there anything else that you want to go over?
No, that's it. Thank you, Dean.
Yeah, you have a good rest of your day, bro. Let's go to... Oh, he left. I didn't even get the chance to kick him. Let's go to get that next guest loaded up into the live, guys. Hop in that queue. If you support Trump, I will happily get you loaded up in here, and we will have a good debate. Very good debate indeed. Very good debates today indeed. Quite frankly, here we go. Moving on to the next guest. Let's go to get them up here. Yippee. Okay, who's next? Also, if you want to support me, you can find my Venmo and my PayPal in the link tree in my bio. Appreciate everyone for the love. Yo, Vale, thank you so much for the 140 ZAR. I'm not familiar with that currency, but I appreciate you for the love. I will not be reading that out loud. I'm not going to do that to everyone. As well as Annie, thank you so much for the $20 over on Super Chat as well, saying Dean debating for both him and the guest at the moment. Sometimes I'll do that. I typically don't. I think I did that yesterday, though. Appreciate you for the $20, Annie. Show some love to our donors over there in Super Chat. And what is going on, new guest TYT? Are you MAGA?
Do you miss Kirk?
Do I miss Kirk? I'm going to go ahead and assume that means that you're not here to debate, so I'm going to go ahead and move on. But, I mean, if you want a succinct answer to your question, the answer would be no. We're going to move on to the next guest. Let's go to get that next guest loaded up into the box. What's up? Do you support Trump?
I do. How are you?
I'm doing all right. How old are you?
I'm 26.
All right. Fantastic. We're going to move on to the next guest.
Wait, I'm actually 26, man. Like,
Okay.
legitimately.
Yeah, then also for those of you in the chat, like saying no, like for saying no question mark, or like even like the conservatives that may like want to be like, oh, Dean, you're a terrible person. You can't like fault me for that. Like, come on, like what are we like? That doesn't make me a bad person. But we're gonna move on. Legend. So tell us why you support Trump.
All right, so Dean, first, I just want to say thank you for having the conversation. Really do respect it. Respect your recognition for Kirk, first and foremost. I support Trump because, honestly, his border policies, I support his standing behind law enforcement. I am a law enforcement officer. I'll be transparent with that. So I'm a little biased as far as that stands. It has been a long-term issue from a law enforcement standpoint to feel like there is little support from the president, of course. There is, of course, things on record where the president has come out and said, hey, supportive, do what you got to do. However, in this current standing, you can see Trump taking a strong stance on narcotics. You can see him taking a strong stance on removing illegal immigrants from the United States, who arguably, I know what your stance will be. Do you agree with removing parents and stuff? At a certain standpoint, the argument's going to be made that they're being removed because they didn't come here legally in the first place, which alone is a breach of law. So my whole standing behind him is that he is trying his best as his own human being to try and improve the safety of the United States. and backing law enforcement.
I have a question. Are you like on the job right now? I hear some beeping in the background.
I've just got off.
Wow. Okay. I'm going to go to thank a handful of people, then I will happily respond to your claims there. First and foremost, Fixer, thank you for the 10 Australian dollars over on Super Chat. That is very kind of you. Thank you, Fixer. As well as Seth, thank you so much for the $10. Thank you. Thank you, Seth. I appreciate that. Thank you guys so much for the love. I'd also like to very quickly thank, let's see, over here on PayPal. Thank you so much, Christopher, for the $10 over on PayPal, as well as Sean with the 25. Sean says, love from England. Love to England. Thank you so much for being here, Sean. Show some love to Christopher and Sean down below in that chat, as well as Cindy with the $20, saying thank you for debating, spreading facts, and not filling the world with hate. Well, I appreciate you so much for the love, Cindy. Thank you for being here, and thank you for the $20, as well as Through, that is THU. Thank you for the $10. That is very kind of you. As well as Frankie with the $25 over on Venmo. Frankie says, thank you for making my day better with your live debates. Fuck yeah, dude. I'm happy I can make your day better. And then Brianna with the $20, saying, Dean, watching your stream is a major part of my day. I hope that you had a great 21st birthday. And if you were to run for president in the future, I'd vote for you. Well, I don't know, maybe so, but thank you so much for the $20, Brianna, and I hope that you enjoy the stream while you're here. As well as 22 minutes ago, I haven't read this one yet. Thank you so much, Emma, for the $25, saying thank you for educating those around us. My friend, shout out Michael, and I love watching you in school. Let's fucking go. I appreciate you for that love, Emma, and shout out to Michael too, as well as Elena with a 10 and Christina with a 5. Thank you guys all so much for the love. Now, to respond to you. You're telling us that you support Trump because of his stance on law enforcement. Do you know who not Abrigo Garcia, Donald Trump illegally deported Abrigo Garcia? Do you know who DJ Rodriguez is? Please come back. There you go. You're back. Do you know who DJ Rodriguez is?
I am not familiar, no, sir.
So DJ Rodriguez is a man that was at the Capitol on January 6th during the insurrection. And DJ Rodriguez took a stun gun. Are you driving?
I just got out of my car. I was having bad cell service, so I'm heading to my house. I'm listening to you, I promise.
I hope that you were on the live when you were driving. It's more likely than not that that's illegal where you live, my Mr. Friend Cop. Now to move back.
No, I was parked. I was in the driveway.
All right. Well, now to move back to what I was saying. So DJ Rodriguez is a man who took a stun gun and drove it into the neck of a cop, just like yourself. But his name was Officer Fanone. Okay, and he did this at the Capitol on January 6th. He assaulted Officer Fanone, and in fact, Officer Fanone literally took away a heart attack because DJ Rodriguez drove a stun gun into his cop. Okay. DJ Rodriguez then pled guilty to this to the FBI and was sentenced to 12 years in jail. Day one in office for Donald Trump's second term. Trump let DJ Rodriguez out of jail, gave him a full presidential pardon, and labeled him as a patriot. How do you, as a member of law enforcement, feel when you see the president pardoning people that tried to kill other members of our law enforcement?
So I won't say I disagree with you. I will say that there are instances, again, with Trump being human and having his own personal opinions and goals that won't always align with us as the American people. His reasoning behind some things is not always going to make sense. When I look at his overall stance on public safety, law enforcement, and trying to do what he sees as right, not always going to agree. Just like I won't always agree with you, you won't always agree with me. However, the overall bearing idea that when we take one little thing, and in grand scheme, that's not one little thing. I'll give that to you. That's a very big issue to be addressed.
Right.
However, but when we talk about national security, we talk about everything else. In the grand scheme, we're with him for the next 4 years at least. And when we put that one thing to the left, and we bring everything else to the right, I'd say there's been more done positive when we step away from that one instance. Because I agree with you.
Okay, well, we'll talk about the positive, but I just think that one instance is enough. Like, did you just see like everybody in the chat like spamming the pig emojis?
Yeah.
Would you say that if somebody in the chat was spamming the pig emojis, that's like enough reason for you to conclude that they like probably don't back the blue?
Yeah, absolutely. So
and if like spamming a pig emoji in a TikTok live stream comment section is enough evidence to conclude that the person doing it doesn't back the blue, then why doesn't freeing 72 people that try to kill cops demonstrate sufficient reason to believe that the person who did it doesn't back the blue.
So I think if we alienate just that one incident, and we're talking about the 76 people he released, that's its own circumstance. If we sidestep, and I'm trying to respond to that, but I'm also trying to make sure that the whole image of my point of view is seen, that trying to not just look at it as the goldfish view. It's not just the single fish inside the fishbowl that we're looking at and we're watching it swim in circles. It's the bigger, broader world. It's one of those things that we can alienate just him releasing all those people, and we can say, man, that right there, that proves that he does not support law enforcement. That alone, crappy look, admittedly. However, when we go ahead and we also look at the greater, bigger picture, we can see that he's upped his attack on narcotics. He's upped his enforcement as far as budgetary support to places such as ICE, Border Patrol. We have someone in the FBI now who requests a decrease in budget by, correct me if I'm wrong, because you probably have the exact number. I believe it was, what, 5 million or 500 million? It was a considerable chunk of money. And so he's allowed for the restructure of defunding where necessary, and also allowed for a much more fluid, communicative government as far as the criminal justice system when we talk about kind of working hand in hand. I've never, as a local officer, seen so much cohesiveness at a local level between us and the federal government as there is right now. And that's not just on deportation. That's on narcotics. That's on sex trafficking. That is on every level so far.
Okay, well, what I can say, it's like when I look at like Donald Trump and his relationship with like local police departments, first and foremost, I think of the fact that he pardoned the 72 people that tried to kill cops. The second thing that I think about is that his current budget proposal for next year is going to defund local police departments by $1 billion per year. That's not super backing the blue. And then the third point that I bring up is I think that he's going to increase crime rates with his policy, particularly his economic policy and his immigration policy. Right now, he is destroying the economy and economic growth with a big, beautiful bill. Right now, the feds are telling us that annualized GDP growth this year will be at 1.4%. Meanwhile, last year was 2.5%. And his mass deportation is going to destabilize our economy to hell and back by firing 8.3 million of our workers and removing 11 million of our consumers. The American Immigration Council, Kai, I appreciate you for that levelship, tells us that will reduce our GDP by an estimated 1.1 trillion through 1.7 trillion dollars per year. And with a destabilized economy, less GDP growth, less goods being produced and being sold, we will see more poverty. And poverty, it materializes and causes a lot of crime. So for these reasons and more, causing more crime, defunding the police, and pardoning people that try to kill cops, I don't know. I feel like in my mind, it's intuitively clear that maybe he's not too good for cops.
So from a law enforcement side, we've seen the defunding push before. Every year there's the up and down. It's natural. It truly is. We can talk about it from a federal side and a local side. On a local side, the funding is usually grant funded, but a lot of that also is already kind of planned out and it's expected. The budget's already set from the local governments.
Yeah, we're talking about the federal government.
Yeah, I know. What I'm saying is that he can go ahead and say defund. He can set that budget proposal for the future. However, what's kind of set in stone at the local level, or if we talk federal,
we're talking about federal funding that is given to local police departments.
Absolutely, and I'm clear on that. And so what I'm saying is that when all of that is done, the budget's already set at the local level, knowing what's coming from the federal. With that being said, the plan is already in place for hiring, for the enforcement, as well as at the court level for their personnel, if that makes sense.
It doesn't really make sense. I'm confused on how this relates to him just taking more money away from cops.
Yeah, so taking money away means jobs lost, number one. Number two, it leads to, of course, less spots being open, meaning less people being hired. Number three, that means that in turn, in your perspective, and provable in many cities that are large areas, it also leads to a higher crime rate. With that being said,
right, everything that you just described right there. So Donald Trump is going to ensure that some police officers are fired and there's higher crime rates by directly defunding local police departments, and also by his destabilizing terrible economic and immigration policy. All these things are reasons why you shouldn't support Donald Trump as it relates to his position on cops.
Sure. So run with me for a second, okay? Bear with me for a second. What I'm saying is, with the inside knowledge of how the agencies run on the local level, when we talk about that federal funding being cut, that is something that has happened year after year after year. It truly is. When we talk about at the local level, the money that is transpired down the funnel, certain agencies get less money and certain agencies get more. There might be that stable, what you may find in statistics as far as how much money is given. But if you look at somewhere like, we'll say Chicago, Indianapolis, Cleveland, LA, the funding is always different every year, year to year.
Can you show me like a single budget proposal from Biden that like wanted to defund local police departments?
I will not say yes because I would have to dig. And if I can find one, I would happily share it with you. If I cannot, I will happily tell you that as well.
Right, because like I like what I'm actually seeing right now is that his wow. So this is I'm reading this off of CNN. I'm just getting this now. If you go on Google and you type in CNN, the quote unquote the answer is not to defund. Here's what President Biden increased budget for policing. It's a whole article. How about how he actually increased like the federal budget for local law enforcement agencies?
So even on that standpoint, the entirety of it, if he did do that, and I do believe you, I have no reason to disbelieve you, from the local level, looking at that federal funding, I can also say that there has been little difference seen at this point.
But like this is refuting your claim that like the federal funding has gone down every year. It looks like Biden actually wanted to increase it, and now Donald Trump is decreasing it.
All due respect, I said it may stay stable, or you may find facts that say it went up. I'm saying I cannot speak because I am not sitting there looking at these budget reports day in and day out. I'm a road guy, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
but like now that we have, like obviously this should indicate to you like some reason not to support Trump, given that you're a cop. And honestly, like another thing on my mind is like, you put felons in jail, but when the felon is Trump, you put him in the White House.
I'm just gonna laugh because that's funny. You're not wrong. Like he is technically a felon. It's comedic value there, but I will say that also when we look at that, there is a clear delineation between presidents of the increase in hiring between agencies. I can say that there is a clear discrepancy if we go back and look at data just from personal conversation with large entities such as I'm in Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department.
I wouldn't share that information. I would be clear. I'd keep that to yourself, but go ahead.
I got you. Yeah, I don't want to get doxxed. So things like that, you have these conversations with these large entities and you can see that the rates of people being hired or not at all, like they're just not getting the applicants. The number of applicants now compared to under Biden is astronomical. And I'm not saying that has anything to do with the funding because it really does not. What it has to do with is a big part of the morale portion. And that's not directly linked to the funding. However, the way that people feel supported, the policies that are enacted, and I'm talking, again, going back to the immigration, the war on drugs, things like that, the endless war on drugs that we will never win as America, no matter who is president. It is what everyone is looking for when they are applying to law enforcement, to feel supported and feel like they have the backing. And we feel right now that we have that from Trump. And to not even just, I'm going to work in your point too, in your favor.
Well, I hear what you're saying, man. But I don't get it. Like you're saying that there's like this promoted sense of like morale. I just think that's going to be like the shared hive mind of like thinking that Trump is somebody who he truly isn't. But this doesn't justify supporting Trump for somebody that he truly isn't. Like, honestly, I think that like Trump should reduce the morale on like police officers. He's a felon serving as our president that has been breaking the law since day one with unconstitutional executive orders and is now wanting to play, Mr. Dictator, saying that the media doesn't have a right to criticize him. Like, these are all things that hopefully law enforcement officers would look at and say, holy fuck, this is terrible. I mean, like, seriously, like what happens if you break the law on a job? What happens to you if you do that?
Yeah, I'm going to jail, possibly prison, losing my job for sure.
Yeah, so if you agree that you should lose your job if you break the law, since you're in a position of power and an operator of the government, if you believe that should happen, that we're saying you think should happen. Now, it actually does, because in many scenarios that doesn't happen. Well, then why don't you think that should also happen for Trump? He's also in a position of power. He's also an actor of our government. He happens to be our goddamn president, and he's been breaking the law all over the place. He's violated the First Amendment. He's violated the Second Amendment, the 14th Amendment. He called for a termination of the 22nd. He straight up tried to rig an election in 2020, and that's, when we had the insurrection on the Capitol, where he then had to go and turn around and pardon the people that tried to kill the cops during this insurrection to attempt to rig the election. Like, I just don't get how any law enforcement officer can support this full picture, especially when we consider that he's now defunding the cops by $1 billion. He's going to increase crime rates by destroying our economy. Like, these are like all things that are terrible. Not to mention the goddamn Epstein cover-up. Any law enforcement officer should look at that and say, God diddly damn, what the fuck? Like, if you were looking into a suspect that could have possibly been hanging out with Epstein when he was doing his terrible things, and you find out that they had sent a letter to Epstein, like, detailing a picture of a naked woman or in the minds of some a girl with a statement, may every new day be another wonderful secret, you're going to look at them as a suspect, hopefully not as a good president.
So I'm going to address one of your points, and then I can work down the line. I don't want to discount any of your statements, but so I'm going to start from point one that came right after I made my statement. As far as the morale statement, the morale is from seeing action. It is not just from statements. It is from seeing the seizures of narcotics. It's from seeing the actual action of us going out. And when I say us, now I'm referring to the feds, so I should not refer to us, but law enforcement in the federal government going out and going and catching these criminals who came here illegally, including narcos, the cartel, including these traffickers, these people who are grapists, these people who are truly bad people. And I understand that not every single person who immigrates here illegally is a bad person. I understand and respect that. Completely understand.
Another thing.
I'm sorry.
You're just like, so Trump has boosted your morale by catching grapists. He is a rapist.
So
Does it not make you feel disillusioned?
I understand your standpoint, and I can completely respect that. The thing is, again, when we look at the country and we compare it to where we were from this standpoint, a year ago, under Biden, we were not, and maybe there was something going on that we did not know about as far as from the federal law enforcement standpoint, right? Maybe they were out there hitting it hard. Maybe they were out there getting it, but it definitely was not shared as much as it is now. And there was much more discontent from federal law enforcement officers that was expressed, right? So now we're getting drugs off our streets. We're getting narcotics out of here as far as narcos, to be clear, the cartel, the actual members. So we're saving children, we're saving parents, we're saving hardworking Americans. And on top of that, I'm going to also address your other point about the economy and all of that. Absolutely agree with you. When we destabilize the economy through removal of people who are working in our economy currently, legally or illegally, that is going to hurt us. I have had the opportunity to speak to many business owners who would absolutely echo your statement. And I do not discredit that. You are absolutely right that at the same time, when we destabilize the economy, crime will follow. That is natural. And I know you're going to say, well, then there you go. You already just said it. You're right. The difference is that from the standpoint of that, you are destabilizing to stabilize. And it will take time. There's going to be a shock wave. It's going to suck. And we're already seeing it. We're seeing it in grocery prices. We're seeing it in everything in the daily American life. However, at the same time, there have been many jobs brought to America. There have been many opportunities offered to America. And I know you're then going to quote that there is less jobs now than there was before because the unemployment rate is up compared to before. And statistically, you are correct. And a part of that, I do strongly believe, is because we are doing a lot of that shock wave.
Okay, let me know when I'm good.
You're good. Absolutely. You can interrupt me anytime, sir. This is your show. I'm just here as a guest.
Okay, well, I'm going to make a couple points here, then I'll probably move on to the next guest. So first of all, you were like, well, you see all like these people like working like with like gangs and whatnot, being like caught and prosecuted and whatnot and so on and so forth. Okay, so if like prosecuting crime, particularly like game or narco crime, would like make you feel some sense of morale, you understand that is what Kamala Harris has spent like the last 40 years of her life doing as a prosecutor, as an attorney, as a DA, and as an AG. Meanwhile, in the 80s and 90s, Donald Trump was actually harboring Russian mafia members in his properties. So, I mean, if this is what would generate that sense of morale, that morale should be the highest for that of Kamala Harris. Now, on the second point here, you're actually wrong, right? You said, well, maybe they were doing this under like the Biden administration. You just didn't hear about it. Yes, if you go to ice.gov/statistics, you will see that there was more arrests and deportations of undocumented immigrants with prior criminal offenses, particularly violent criminal offenses, than there is today under the Trump administration. You have become disillusioned and convinced of a lie. It is a lie that the Trump administration is getting violent criminals off our streets, because what is true is they are rather focusing on all undocumented immigrants who productively contribute and put into the American economy, who productively contribute and put in to owning businesses, being entrepreneurs. In fact, PNAS tells us that they're 2.5 times less likely to commit violent crimes when compared to American citizens. And when we specifically focus on undocumented immigrants with those prior violent offenses, with those gang affiliations that are bringing the narcotics into this country, Donald Trump is incarcerating them and prosecuting them at lower levels than the Biden and Harris administration. And my last point here is 85% of those substances brought into this country across the southern border, well, guess what? They're brought in by citizens. And you wouldn't be able to name a single plan, a single policy, or a single announcement from Trump or his administration from his first term until now to address that. Because you'd rather turn around and focus on the innocent men and women, mothers and fathers, business owners and hard workers to further his agenda by saying they're the ones that are poisoning the blood of this country.
All right, Dean. So I know that you said you wanted to move on, so I don't know if you want me to respond or not. But from my standpoint, I disagree with you, and you know that. That's why I do support Trump. And respectfully, I do respect your opinion. I respect your standpoint, and I do appreciate you having this conversation with me. Sincerely, you're a great man. I mean that wholeheartedly, and I respect you. Thank you very much, and don't stop doing this. Seriously, this is healthy.
Well, I appreciate you for coming up, man, and hopefully you'll hear me out on my arguments. You know, you seem a little bit open-minded. It'd be good to try to hear me out, especially on those as in relationship to like mass deportation, so on and so forth. By the way, for everyone on TikTok, my name is banned in the chat. They banned Dean. Yeah, DEAN is a banned word on TikTok chat. So, if it looks like you guys figured it out, though. Looks like you guys figured it out there. You just got to do DEEN. Isn't that crazy? I think that's crazy. I would go ahead and thank a handful of people here. Annie. Oh, weren't you up here yesterday?
Hello?
Hey, what's up? Do you support Homelander?
I love Homelander.
How much? How much do you love Homelander?
Like, have you watched The Boys before?
I have watched The Boys before. How much do you really love Homelander?
I think Homelander is right.
So, Anthony Starr, who plays as Homelander, was texting me.
Yeah. Great actor.
He was texting me about how much he hates Trump like a week ago.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, he was.
He was texting you?
About how much he hates Trump, yeah.
Show me the text.
Dude, you could just go search up Anthony Starr on Instagram. You'll see that he follows me.
Yeah, I'm gonna go look it up.
Okay. Just like if you follow.
No way, he hates Trump?
Yeah.
No. Homelander's right though.
Okay. I'm gonna kick you, because if you're serious about that, like you're just like insane. Homelander's like one of the most disturbing characters in like TV ever. like what? Dude. We're gonna move on to the next guest, guys. Hop in that queue if you support Trump. We'll get you loaded up here. We're gonna go to get that next guest Trent connected right now. Yeah, Homelander is like truly disturbing. It took me a while to kind of like separate like the actor from like the role, because like dude, what a crazy role. As well as, like I said, Annie, thank you so much for the $50 over on YouTube Super Chat. Annie with a 50 says, cop that loves Trump is turning us into a police state. I'm not shocked. Well, Annie, I appreciate you so much for the $50. Once again, you were like with us here every day. I love you, Annie. As well as Holly, thank you for the 5. And Fixer, thank you for the $5 as well. I'm going to go ahead and reload over on Venmo and PayPal. If you want to support me, you can find both my Venmo and my PayPal in the link tree in my bio. I'd quickly like to thank Sam for the $15 over on Venmo. Thank you. Lydia with the $15 saying this is for my mental health. I'm happy that that the streams help your mental health. Thank you so much. As well as Lisa, thank you for the $20 over on Venmo, saying thank you for all that you do. Thank you, Lisa. And then Christy with a 15 says, support you. Could you try to be a little softer if they're respectful and kind at the end of the debate? I want people to learn and to leave with a good impression. Okay, I'll try to be as soft as possible this next debate. I got you. Okay, listen, you're going to see Soft Dean. As well as, let's see here, Rosemary, thank you for the 5. Megan with a 1. Ava with a 1. And Lauren with a 10. Lauren with a 10 says, hey, Dean, I appreciate you and what you do. Thank you so much for the $10, Lauren. As well as, dude, oh my God. Bro, what is going on? Dude, Catherine, thank you so much for the $200 donation over on Venmo. Holy shit, Catherine. That is like completely outrageous. That is so much money. Thank you so much for your kindness. That is like unreal. Let's get 2,000 Catherine W's down below in the chat. You guys have been ridiculously fucking kind today. Catherine with the $200 donation. I do not deserve a penny of that. Thank you, Catherine. She says, thank you for what you do. Please do not sell my information. Catherine, I will not sell your information. You got it, okay? You got it. And thank you for being here. Thank you so much for such a kind and generous donation. As well as, what is going on, new guests? Do you support Trump?
Not really, bro.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you for being patient. That was very kind of you to be patient, I guess. Let's go ahead and get that next guest loaded up into the stream right now, guys. If you happen to be in that queue, just make sure it's because you're an American adult that supports Trump as president. We're going to go to get that next guest loaded up right now. I really appreciate them for their patience, I guess. That was very kind of you. What's going on, man? You support Trump?
Yeah.
How old are you?
21.
Okay, awesome. What year were you born in?
2004.
Fantastic. What month?
April 19, 2004.
Have you been up here before?
Maybe like a year ago.
Okay, that was long ago enough. Let me thank a couple people again. Catherine, thank you for the $25 over on PayPal, as well as Catherine. I see your message there. Thanks for educating people, and I really appreciate that. Thank you so much, Catherine. That is very kind of you. Show some love to another Catherine down below in the chat. As well as Ava, thank you so much for the $40 over on PayPal. Thank you, Ava. Jesus, that is AVAH. You guys have been like so fucking kind today. I'm like seriously just like astounded by the amount of love I've received today. I will be eternally grateful for it. And just thank you guys. Ava with the $40. Show some love to Ava down below. As well as Peyton with the $30 over on PayPal. Peyton says your debates are what I look forward to every day after getting home. Let's go, Peyton. The streams can be pretty fun. I appreciate you for being here. Then thank you for the $30, as well as Kaylee. Thank you for the 10. You guys are awesome. Now take it away. Why the hell do you support Trump as president?
I don't support like the side of like liberal people because they're just like outrageous and seem delusional to me. The reason I support Trump is because he's the only president I've known to be like everything has felt more safe and like ran smoothly as far as the economy goes.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Can I ask you to name one Democrat in mainstream American politics that has said something more outrageous or more delusional than Trump saying today that he doesn't think media organizations have the right to criticize him? Or Donald Trump saying last month that coal is clean, or that windmills cause cancer, or that human-caused climate change isn't real?
You're saying Donald Trump said that?
Yeah. Name one Democrat in American politics that has said things crazier and more delusional than that.
I don't have one for you.
Okay. And their claim falls to crumbs.
It's more of like the people and also Kamala Harris. I don't know if I said that right.
Is Kamala Harris said anything like more insane than that?
Not necessarily.
Okay, well, if you just don't like to side with the people that are crazy and you agree that Kamala Harris was less crazy than Trump, what does that imply?
Just her goals and everything for the country. I'm not necessarily saying that I don't support them, but like if you were to pick sides on them, I think
what goals did she run on that were like worse than like ending the First Amendment?
Well, she didn't have like I don't agree on the abortion things that she has in place that she wanted to go for.
Okay, we've already talked about abortion a little bit today. Not to
I do
mention
have
that
a
abortion
question
numbers have
for you,
actually
though.
been going up. No, so is that the only thing that she ran on that you disagreed with?
As far as I know, yeah.
Bruh, dude. So you're saying that you want the 34 count felon adjudicated rapist that literally is trying to terminate the First Amendment right now.
That's
Because the lady that ran against him wanted women to have a right to access health care?
that's where my question comes into play. Do you want me to answer your question first, though?
Sure.
Yeah, I think like abortion is murder, right? That's just like a fact. But
Okay, why is it murder?
because it's a human life.
Okay, so you just think that ending human life is murder?
Pretty much. I mean, unless it comes from a rapist. Yeah.
Unless it comes from okay, so you have an exception for grape. Okay, so if ending human life is murder, then you think it's murder to pull the plugs on brain dead patients in the hospital?
No, there are different circumstances.
But it's ending a human life, fitting your definition,
Yep.
right? So you can't just like special plea in that context.
Yeah. I feel like I would be in the same boat. Like it would kind of come back to being a contradicting thing like that last guy.
Okay.
But so I would like to go back to that question that I had for you. Do you think it's possible that Donald Trump, all of the 34 counts of felonies that he was convicted of, could have been, and I'm not totally educated on it, but do you think that the jury found him guilty or the judge found him guilty of them and there was no supporting evidence on either side that these things actually happened?
You're just asking me if it's like possible that they got it wrong?
No, like if he was convicted because of just of the amount of like convictions that there or the amount of things that they were, so he just took them because he was given an offer.
No,
to
he
not
actually
have-
didn't.
not have-
He pled not guilty and went to court.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. So he pled not guilty and then he was convicted.
Right.
Was that based on evidence?
Yeah.
So yeah, like my question is like if he was falsely convicted, but he took it anyways because there was no parole, no jail time, things like
Well,
that.
he didn't take it anyways. He said he wasn't guilty, and then once the jury found him guilty, he tried to appeal the ruling 4 times, and not a single appeal went through. He didn't accept anything. Cruz, thank you for the galaxy.
Interesting.
Is there anything else you want to ask, man?
Do you think that Charlie Kirk's death was like right?
No, I don't. We're gonna move on to the next guest. We're gonna go to get that next guest loaded up into the box, guys. Go ahead and hop in that queue if you support Trump. We're gonna go to get Ethan up in here. Hop in that queue if you support Trump. What's up? Do you support Trump? Hello? Ethan's not here. All right, moving on to the next guest. Let's go to get that next guest loaded up into the box right now. They got Just Call Me Matt. Here we are. What's up? Do you support Trump?
I absolutely do.
All right, fantastic, my friend. Let me go ahead and thank a handful of people here. First and foremost, Mr. Matt. Thank you so much for the $50 over on Super Chat. That's very, very kind of you, sir. Mr. Matt with the $50 says, I'm deeply concerned about the safety of all of us who... I'm confused reading your message here, Matt. I'm deeply concerned for the safety of us who are like Christian and hate him. Do you think it's going to get bad enough that people will leave the country? Also, love everything that you do, never give up. Well, I appreciate you for that love, Matt. Well, I mean, I think that, conditions definitely can get bad enough to cause a lot of individuals to leave the country. I'm hoping that we hopefully get him out of office before that happens. I want Congress to act now. But thank you so much for the $50. That's very kind of you, as well as Pew and Jetty. Thank you so much for the $10 as well. Let me go ahead and check over on PayPal and Venmo just to make sure that I didn't forget about anyone. Lauren, thank you for the $10 over on Venmo, saying first time donor, long time watcher. Love what you do. Thank you, Lauren. As well as Alexander with a 5, Marissa with a 5, and Evelyn with a 5. And then Ben, thank you so much for the $20 on Venmo, saying I converted my mother from MAGA, and you're to thank. Love you, my dude. Stay safe out there. Ben, I'm going to have a drink tonight in your honor. Let's fucking go. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you, Ben. I'm literally so proud of you. Show some extra love to Ben down below in that chat. As well as Sarah, thank you so much for the $50 donation over on Venmo. Thank you so much for the love. Sarah says, our politics should not be this big of a divider. USA should never harm our own people because of politics. That's the goal, Sarah. You know, like hopefully like one day we could get to a place where politics is nothing more than like small indiscrepancies about tax policy, right? Where politics is not a divider. God, what like a utopian world that would be. Thank you so much for the $50, Sarah. Thank you so much. That is very, very kind of you. As well as Kimber, thank you so much for the $15, saying, is the boys worth the watch? Yes. And then Bell with a 10, saying, thank you for speaking for those of us who can't. Well, I appreciate you for that love, Bell. And sir, I have a question for you. Are you a patriot?
Absolutely.
Oh, you cut out there?
Oh.
Okay, you cut out there for like a good 30 seconds.
There you go.
You said that you absolutely are a patriot?
Sorry, Dean. Absolutely.
Okay, do patriots care about core American values like the Constitution?
Of course.
Then how could you possibly support Trump? Because he doesn't care about the Constitution. He's been belligerently violating it from day one.
Let me start with one piece real quick, Dean, which is I appreciate this that you're doing. I appreciate that you talk to people, different perspectives. I've watched a lot of videos, your videos, Charlie's videos, a lot of different videos. Military veteran myself, but what I appreciate is that you're a young guy that's doing this. I like your perspective. I would venture to say that I'm open to perspectives. Okay. So I like the approach that you're taking in the sense that you're not combative. You're ready to have a conversation. So I just wanted to say that before we got too deep.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate you for it. You should have seen me 3 years ago. I had to learn to not be combative. I had to learn it. Anyways, so yeah.
Sorry, continue.
Back to that question. So you told us that you're a patriot. You support core American values, such as the Constitution. I think the very first question that comes into my mind is, well, if you support the Constitution, how could you possibly support Trump? He does not care about the Constitution. He's been belligerently violating it. And honestly, my usual example would be his executive order he signed in on day one that violated the 14th Amendment, or how he said he wanted to run for a third term, which would be a violation of the 22nd Amendment. But honestly, what I want to bring up to you is today he said that media organizations don't have the right to critique him. He said they are not allowed to do that. Is that not just like a glaringly big red flag an issue?
Well, I think what you run into there is an opinion. Not to say that I agree with all of his opinions, but we know that he's flamboyant. We know that he's going to say things from time to time. Can he violate their right to make criticisms? Absolutely not. He can say those things. That doesn't mean it's going to happen.
But his opinion? But that's, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's an opinion. No. And I'm with you. I understand. When you're in an office like that, the things that you say are definitely going to be judged and thought about and discussed and so forth. But it's an opinion. I mean, he made a comment. He makes all kinds of comments.
But you understand that, this isn't just any opinion. It is a fascist opinion. It is an opinion that is diametrically opposed to every single core American value that the president is supposed to stand on and execute. We cannot ever entrust such a drastically important position of public service as the president of the United States of America to a man that has the opinion that the media shouldn't legally be allowed to dissent upon him. Right? And that is incredibly meaningful. And it extends just beyond words, too. Okay? It was not an opinion yesterday when he pressured ABC into taking Jimmy Kimmel off air. That was an action because Jimmy Kimmel gave an opinion that he didn't like. The media is supposed to exist as an ecosphere of the exchange of values, ideas, and thoughts, and the criticisms of those that we believe are incorrect, and the upholding of those that we believe are correct. Now, Donald Trump has shifted that from said ecosystem to now a mere reflection of what those in power like or don't. And he didn't start with Jimmy Fallon. He has been suing media organizations for years. He has been calling the journalists the enemies of the people since his first administration, and he got Colbert canceled earlier in his term. And last night on Truth Social, he said he was gunning for more, and that a handful of other figures are next. And that was before he said on, is playing today to a group of journalists that if the media criticizes him, they're not allowed to do that.
And I hear your point, and I disagree with that as far as any sort of attempt to mute those opinions or to change them or to disregard them or not allow them to be on there. I disagree with that. At the same time, I think you could definitely say that media has been influenced for a long time for different agendas along the way. You can see that publicly noted, ownerships of major affiliates or, the different distribution points, definitely influenced by political vibes on both sides. So I'm not going to say it's one or the other.
Yeah, but influenced by the people, not influenced by the president. Can you give an example of another sitting president of this country getting
I cannot give an example.
A media pundit fired from an organization?
No, absolutely not. And that's the point that I sit with you on, which is a president should not be attacking individual media outlets and or presenters for that sort of thing. If you don't agree, you don't agree. Okay. And that should be a core value within the United States as it is. So, you say what you want to say.
How do you still support him even though he's done those things?
Well, I think my support comes from a unique position, not one that I solely hold, but as I said in the beginning, there's a specific piece that I looked at, which is in his first term, he opened up medical care to veterans outside of the VA if we couldn't be seen. Okay, that hits a special spot for me because I was one of those people that couldn't be seen. The VA would put me out 6 months, 7 months to be seen and then, fall off. When he opened that up, I was able to go to private medical. You can look it up and be seen. And that was a new thing. I was never able to do that before. Within short order, when the administration turned over, that was taken away. It proved to be a very expensive venture to be seen by private medical and then refunded by the VA. So that went away. It has recently come back. And so I speak from a veteran's perspective when it comes to things like that. There's another position, if we want to get into Second Amendment and all that stuff, I know that gets kind of messy going down the road with it. But there's certain pieces that I agree with. There's certain pieces that I don't agree with. The biggest thing when it came to this election was I did not agree with the opposition. I had much fewer agreements there.
Okay. So everyone in the chat is spamming wrong. I'm not going to lie. I was researching the act, so I wasn't looking too closely at what you were saying there. Chat, what are you saying that was wrong? I wasn't listening too closely.
They can absolutely say wrong. I actually am registered with the VA and benefited from that change.
Okay, I just wasn't listening too closely. Now, I know what you're talking about. That's going to be the Mission Act of 2019. And I actually think that the Mission Act of 2019 was decent, okay? But it doesn't just allow you to seek medical health care from other places outside of the VA at all freely. You have to meet a certain set of conditions. And predominantly the main condition that you'd be focused on is if the VA can't offer an appointment within 20 days for primary care or mental health or non-institutional extended care within 28 days for specialty care, right? And sure, I think that's good. I think that's going to be a good act. I agree with that. However, right, I mean, if we want to talk about what has happened since the Missions Act and how Donald Trump has, aligned with, veterans and his treatment towards them, well, the first thing he did, when passing the big beautiful bills, he defunded the VA by a couple $1 million, causing them to fire 54,000 of their employees. Not to mention that the Biden-Harris administration made a massive investment into the VA by investing $800 million into the expansion of VA healthcare benefits to now service over 1 million new veterans.
Do you know how that actually went into effect?
How the PACT Act went into effect? It got signed into law, then the federal government gave $800 million to the VA.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Do you understand how it was actually used?
How it was actually used? Are you saying that the funds were misused?
100%.
How so?
So the PACT Act is actually something that affects me directly. And I remember that. And so what you went from was, let's say, 2 visits, 2 evaluations to 9. So what you're doing is you're now paying outside contractors to do extended visits, repeat testing over and over and over again. And we're talking about for basic stuff here. If you went to your doctor, you got blood work done, you get some numbers that come back, you might do it again just to verify. But would you do blood work 9 times over to verify?
Sir, you're saying it doesn't do anything effective. Would you be able to give me a source to demonstrate that point is true?
Well, the only source is myself. I'm someone that uses it.
Well, I don't.
Which I understand.
I don't think that's going to be a reliable source. I'd ask you for like conglomerate information to demonstrate that the.
I'd be happy to look that
PACT
up and
Act
send
is
it your
bad.
direction. No, I don't think the PACT Act is bad. I think the way it was executed was not
Also,
executed.
wait. Now I'm confused because we're just talking about the Missions Act signed into law under Trump, but now I'm reading about the VA Choice Act passed by Obama in 2014, which expanded veterans eligibility to receive care from non-VA facilities and connecting them to timely and convenient access to health care.
Now look at what the requirements were to actually receive that.
What were they?
It had to be something in the sense of a TBI or an amputation, or it had to be extreme. You could not. I don't even know if mental health was covered. In
so then you're just saying that Obama, he took the initiative to start expanding access for veterans to receive access to healthcare from non-VA facilities, and then Trump just simply kind of continued that by building off of it, just meaning that it now seems like a little bit of a bipartisan issue, so this shouldn't give you reason to sway in one direction over the other.
Which is not why I did it. I said the reason that I did it was because I disagreed more with the other side.
And I'm actually looking at this right now. I'm not seeing that. So I'm seeing that the eligibility requirements to access like community care under like the VA Choice Act signed into law by Obama is that the services aren't available at the VA and that it doesn't extend their standard wait times of 28 days for specialty care and 20 days for primary or mental health care, which is funny enough the same exact requirements under the Missions Act signed into law by Trump.
I'm reading your comments too with all the with all the red flags.
I'm reading more about this now. It looks like the Missions Act was the same as the VA Choice Act. It just like absorbed it and had some slight improvements. I'm just not really seeing any of the specific improvements.
Well, as far as improvements, you would know better than I while you're looking at it. All I know is the coverage that I had that was available to me was not there. I requested it. I was seriously put on hold for 6 months with no option to go anywhere else. And then once they opened it up, then I was able to go.
So, I mean, like what I'd say is like seemingly like this is something that we'd have to evaluate with the use of like data like nationwide, and we'd have to look at these things through a little bit more of a granular academic scope, not just simply your own personal experiences to like yield like truly rational conclusions on. So would you have like any sources to indicate like what the very specific improvements of the Mission Act were on top of the VA Choice Act?
No, because I don't have a computer in front of me. But
well, then honestly, I mean, if you think that you want to go do that research, then come back at a point, even if it's not today, feel free. But I just don't really see how our conversation can naturally progress from that point.
Sure. If that's what we're going to focus on, absolutely. But I say again, I do appreciate what you're doing. You're an intelligent guy. You research your stuff. You know what you're talking about. That's what I like about it. It's a conversation. At no point in time have either one of us been inappropriate or loud or combative or anything. And you've made some solid points. And the whole Obama piece, I did not know that. I was still in, so I wasn't receiving any kind of VA care at that time. So,
okay. Well, appreciate you for that. Is there anything else that you want to go over?
No, I just appreciate what you're doing. I appreciate you putting me on. Good to have a conversation.
Well, I appreciate that. You have a good rest of your day, bro.
Take care.
All right, we're gonna move on to the next guest. Guys. Go ahead and drop a Trump with your age down below in that chat if you'd like to come up and have a conversation with me. Bex, thank you so much for the $20 over on YouTube. Bex says, how do you feel about libertarians? It's always left versus right, but what about the middle ground? They are in a nutshell. And what are your thoughts? Yeah, well, so I actually was a libertarian for a long time. I think that there's a lot about libertarianism that could be rather convincing. And I think that there's a lot of libertarians who could have their hearts in the right place and genuinely think that libertarianism is like the best way to solve these issues. But just matter of a fact, it's wrong. Like, it's not. So like I was like doing streams talking about like very important like social issues to me. And I was self-described as libertarian, but still held on to like all of like the left-leaning values of like equality for all and all those things. And I just simply thought that libertarianism was the best way to achieve it, but it's not. It's just wrong. So, what's up? Do you support Trump?
Yes, sir.
And how old are you? How old are you, Cole?
19.
Okay, what year were you born in?
06. 06.
Oh, 06. What month?
Bro, what is this like?
21
Social
questions.
Security, bro?
Yep.
Like, what's next?
Yep. What month?
What month? Let me think, bro.
You don't know
Nah,
what
June,
month you were
June.
born in?
Nah, I'm trolling, bro. Rage baiting.
All right. What's your social security number? I'm just kidding. We're going to move on to the next guest. I think that guys will beat us. Let's go to get that next guest loaded up into the live, guys. Make sure if you're in that queue that you are MAGA. Hey, Cecilia, thank you so much. Shit, I probably shouldn't have said that on live. Dude, I need to keep those jokes to myself. I need to keep those jokes. Yo, Cecilia, I appreciate you for the $20 over on PayPal. Cecilia with the $20 says, thank you for being the voice of those who don't have one. Well, Cecilia, I appreciate you for the $20. That is very kind of you, and thank you for being here, and thank you for the love. Show some love to Cecilia down below in that chat, as well as Kaylee. Thank you for the $10 on PayPal, saying, please read, I need you to so badly explain Trump's border policy. I don't really think that he has any effective border policy. I think the reason why we've seen such a large reduction in undocumented entries is from him scaring it away by violating the human and constitutional rights of the undocumented immigrants that are already in this country. And my evidence would be, it's not just undocumented entry that's fallen, but so has tourism for business or leisure and legal immigration. What's going on, Cabra? You MAGA?
What's up?
Do you support Chomp?
I wouldn't say I fully support him. I'm more in the middle, but there's things that I agree with him on.
Overall, if you could put yourself in a time machine and go back to November, would you be voting for Trump or Harris?
Neither.
Neither. Unfortunately, we're going to have to move on to that next guest because we are just looking for the Trump supporters. But hey, man, hopefully you'll be able to watch my live and I could change your mind. Let's go to get that next guest loaded up in here right now. What is going on? Do you support Trump?
I do.
Oh, Santana, I did it again. Hey, what's going on, man?
This is the second time. Yeah.
What's going on, man? What's going on?
Nothing. I was requesting up when you were talking to the other guy earlier. So, but you know.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I accidentally added you up. But I mean, if you want to stay and do a couple of debates, I'm down.
Okay. Yeah, I'm here. Let's go.
All right, let's go ahead and get that next guest loaded up into the box. By the way, this Santana's not MAGA. He's not MAGA. That was a joke. We're gonna get that next guest loaded up in here. And honestly, I do have to use the restroom, so I'm probably gonna go to do that soon.
Take advantage.
Yeah, let's go to get that next guest loaded up in here. What's up? Do you support Trump? Hello? All right, they're not here. Let's go to get that next guest loaded up in here. See you later, Nick. We're gonna move on to our next guest, Brody. Dude. As well as Jay. Thank you so much for the $200 donation on PayPal. You guys have been going fucking crazy. And Jay, it's so good to see you again. I hope you have been well. Jay, with the $200 donation, says, in support of your important work. Jay, you're an icon. We literally all love you here. You've been such an active and supporting member of the community. Huge shout out to Jay down below. That is Jay. Put some respect on it. And thank you for the love. Just absolutely insane. I do not deserve that much. Thank you, Jay, as well as Jenna. Thank you for the $5. Thank you so much. And then Sarah with another $50 over on PayPal. Thank you so much for the love. I really appreciate you so much for the love, Sarah, with another $50. As well, I just read your message there. I do agree. Thank you for the $50. Let's get 500 Sarah W. Said it's SARA. Thank you so much. As well as Kiara with the $10 saying silent watcher for 2 years now. Just wanted to bring this to your attention in case you haven't heard it. I live in Seattle and we're expecting to let go of 150 employees from one of our hospitals due to federal future federal cutting soon. So it's just so
Yes.
shit. I'm going to have to look into that. Thank you for letting me know. As well as Jill with the $25 saying, thanks, Dean. Well, I appreciate you for the love, Jill. Thank you, Jill. And then Cadence with the 5. Thank you guys so much for the love. As well as Casey with the $10 over on Super Chat. Interesting message there. Okay, what is going on, Brody? Do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
And how old are you?
I am 23.
23. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and leave you to Santana here for around 45 seconds while I use the restroom. Go ahead and take it away. Tell Santana why you support Trump. And for everybody else, I'll be like right back.
The biggest reason why I support Trump is a lot of social media narratives on the left. I don't necessarily love the radical left. I'm not saying that liberals, Democrats, that they aren't good people, because I agree that most Democrats are good people. I have multiple trans friends, multiple LGBTQ friends, but what I don't support is the radical left. I'm not saying that both sides don't have that, because I totally agree that both sides do, but I'm wondering what can we do as a country and individuals in the young generation to get to a medium point there.
Yeah, no, I can definitely understand, especially, I mean, as someone, I think the country is more alike than it is divided. But then you talk about those people that are on the fringe areas of each party, and you can speak to what they do specifically and how they can actually push other people. Let me ask you a quick question. When you say the radical left, what do you think the most radical thing is that someone has done, or the things that they do on the left?
So the biggest issue that I have is I support free speech, everything that Dean's doing, everything that Parker's doing, everything that Charlie did. The big thing is not necessarily that I disagree with protests, because I definitely support that and speaking up on your opinions. You can go look at all the TikTok videos online of people that are very chill, relaxed, and moderate approaching protesters that are protesting Trump. Different policies that he supports, whether you agree with them or not. I'm not going to get into specifics of those policies. And they approach them and they call him bigots, fascists, racists. They call.
Okay, so you think the biggest things that the quote unquote radical left has done is call people on the right names? Okay, cool.
Can I bring up a
what
point?
about the?
Just real quick in this.
Yeah,
I've gotten hit by two liberal protests by two separate Trump supporters. So has Parker.
I'm sorry to hear that.
So what's worse, getting called a fascist or getting fucking punched?
Well, I think I have one that would top that. Brody, what's the most extreme thing that the extreme right has done? I mean, like Dean just named, like, really good. He's physically been assaulted, but I think there's something bigger than that.
To be honest, partially because I probably have been brainwashed with social media and everything going on. I couldn't answer that question strictly, and I don't.
Where were you on January the 6th?
What year was that?
2021.
I was graduating high school.
Okay. Do you recall what happened on January the 6th?
To be honest, I'm still doing my own personal research on that specific incident. I don't have a specific opinion on everything that happened.
The most extreme thing that you can put a name on for the left is that they've called people names, and the most extreme thing, I mean, like physically, Dean has been assaulted and harassed multiple ways, but people on the right tried to overthrow the country, literally stormed the Capitol, smeared shit on the walls in the Capitol, hung the Confederate flag inside the Capitol, brought a gallows and screamed, "Hang Mike Pence," while trying to actually take the lives of senators as well. So which one do you think is more extreme, calling names or trying to overthrow the government and take the lives of government officials?
Totally agree with you on everything you just stated.
Okay.
With siding with the right there, and for that specific case, yes, you're totally right. And I'm a pretty open-minded individual. I agree with a lot of left ideologies and right ideologies. I put myself very very centered in politics, not leaning one way or the other. I guess the big thing for me is the economy. I'm 23 years old, similar age, and I just moved from Utah to Colorado from a right swing state to a left wing state, and the cost of living out here is about 60% more expensive.
Where
And
did
the
you live
only-
in Utah? Where do you live in Colorado?
Funny enough, I went to UVU. So,
Okay. So you lived in Orem. That's where UVU is, right?
Orem,
Orem. Okay. And then where did you move to in Colorado?
Denver.
Okay. Well, right. But it's because Orem is like, it's not necessarily small. It's like a larger Utah town. A lot of Mormons out there. But
Yeah.
it's still not like a metropolitan area. Meanwhile, Denver is a metropolitan area. So yeah, you are going to see higher rent in Denver than you would see in Orem. But for instance,
Yeah.
like if you were to move from Orem to a place like Rifle or a place like Grand Junction, a place like Delta, or a place like Montrose in Colorado, you would have had the same rent prices or lower ones, right? Even though it's a left state.
Yeah, totally. I went from $500 a month to $1,200 a month overnight for the exact same type of place. And
I'm actually
not-
surprised that you even found I assume a studio for $1,200 a month in Denver.
I found a ridiculous deal. Luck of the draw. That's what I found.
Well, you know what? Even by that entire premise, I mean, it would have been more beneficial to you to support Kamala Harris. I mean, because she was advocating for rent control and different things that would actually improve not only the home buying experience, but the renter experience, where Donald Trump has not only not advocated for anything, but now that he has power, he's not doing anything to help those situations that you're speaking to.
How would I'm not educated on how Kamala was writing any policy. Kamala, sorry, was writing any policy to help individuals like me. Can you educate me on that stance?
Yeah, I mean, she had multiple policies specifically dealing with the housing market and being able to allow people to become first-time homeowners, while also taking a look at multiple caps that we could institute across the country, including rent control and also price gouging laws. So just things that would ensure that as a consumer, you're not constantly getting taken advantage of. But again, I mean, this would have been something you would want to look into, prior to the election. But
right, like
I mean,
we're like 9 months, 8 months
Exactly.
after the election now. This doesn't really do us much good. So, do you have any other clear reasons why you support Trump as president? Can you name one good thing he's done ever?
Yeah, I can. I do support his, not necessarily policies, but his.
Well, I guess I am specifically asking you for a policy.
No, I don't do research on specific policies, but his argument against war. I love that he doesn't like to go to war.
He loves to go
Outside
to
of
war.
it.
What the fuck, dude? Hello. Because he defunded Ukraine, Russia's dropped the most missiles and bombs they have ever dropped on Ukraine. And then, of course, he resumed the funding. He sent the most money to Israel. He's also received the most money from AIPAC. And he temporarily went to quote unquote war with Iran. So and he said that he might
There's
want
a
to
new
invade
one.
Greenland and Venezuela too. Come on.
There's a new one that just happened not too long ago, so you might not have seen this yet, Dean, but he was answering a Q&A and said that he is reconsidering going back to Afghanistan and try to get the quote-unquote equipment and base back. So literally, he just said that he's thinking about going back to Afghanistan.
I just read that.
I didn't hear about that. Come on, bro.
That just happened.
Did the Biden-Harris administration do any of these things? No, they didn't.
The Biden-Harris administration withdrew from Afghanistan.
Right. Right, they ended war. Now he's like, I want to start it back up again, on top of possibly invading Greenland, on top of possibly invading Venezuela, on top of declaring war on Chicago and renaming the Department of Defense to the Department of War, and sending even more money to Israel, and personally co-signing to a plan to finish the ethnic cleansing of the Gaza Strip, and going to war with Iran, and rescinding all funding from Ukraine. So now Russia's going to hit them the hardest they ever have. Come on, dude.
My last point is, have we actually fired missiles in those countries?
Yes.
Yes.
U.S. military
Yes.
equipment.
Yes.
B-22 bombers drop bunker blasters on Iran. Yup.
Valid. Forgot about that, and yes, you are correct on that. Okay, you have argued with me in a positive manner. Debated, but I appreciate your viewpoints, and it changed me for a better outlook on things.
Yeah, bro. I swear to God, if you do your research, I feel like you'll come out a liberal. Hell yeah, bro. You have a good rest of the day.
Dude, it feels like I've been live forever today, but I keep on like looking at the timer, and I like what I've only been live for like less than 3 hours. I don't know why. Like
I was just about to say, it feels like you haven't been live that long.
Really? Okay. I don't know why. Like maybe from my perspective, maybe like I'm hungry or something. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, we're gonna load up the next guest. If you're watching and you are a Trump supporter and you'd like to come up here and debate us on why you support Trump, go ahead and hop in that queue. We'll get you loaded up here. Also, if you want to support me, you can find my Venmo and my PayPal in the link tree in my bio. I receive 100% of the proceeds through those platforms, and you get a notification on the top of this big, beautiful phone where I could read out your name and any and all attached messages. What's going on? Do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And how old are you?
I am 19 years old.
What year were you born in?
2006.
Awesome. Let me go ahead and thank a handful of people here. Sarah, thank you for the $25 once again over on Venmo. Sarah, you've been showing me a lot of love today. Show some love to Sarah down below in that comment section. As well as Clarissa with a 2 and Danya with a 5. I'd also like to thank Lion of the God with a $10 saying, why are Republicans so obsessed with everyone else's life is the question. I ask that myself frequently. Thank you for the $10, Lion, as well as In. Thank you so much for the $10 as well, saying I support your work. Could you let those know who state their active duty that are in the military that is against DOD 1344.10 to represent as such with personal political views? Yeah, that's a Hatch Act. That is in violation of the Hatch Act. That is right. In. Thank you for the $10, as well as Holly. I appreciate you for the 3. And go ahead and take it away. Tell us why the hell you support Donald Trump as president while I load up my PayPal.
All right. So initially, I did support Kamala. But I found that most of my values ended up aligning with Trump. And now, while I see all the sides equally between the two of them, they both have very valid points. Where I believe I align politically with Kamala is in the economy. But with Trump, I have an issue with immigrants, I suppose. Not in like, that sounded really bad. Hold on. I have my reasons written out on a notepad.
Okay.
I'm a little freaked out. Give me 2 seconds.
It's okay. Go ahead. Give the reasons.
All right. So I align with Trump on the preface of illegal immigrants, not with the deportation of immigrants who have verified and have a green card. And while I understand that sometimes the illegal immigration comes from requiring safety, a new place to start, having people that are not, I suppose, listed is extremely dangerous. And it tends to lead to rather unsavory interactions. Not saying that all immigrants end up with negative outcomes, but...
Okay, so are you saying that you support the mass deportation of undocumented immigrants because you think that they're like have a proclivity towards crime? Or they make society unsafe?
No.
So,
I
what's
mean,
the argument?
like,
Why do you support mass deportation?
Not the mass deportation, the implements of protection against, I suppose...
What protections? Like what protections? Against who? For why? And what?
Undocumented people come into the country every single day, and it leads to... Sorry, I'm getting messages right now.
Please don't message the guests. I'm actually being serious. Bad. Go ahead.
Sorry, that one was really dark.
If you tell me who they are, I'll ban them from my stream.
I wouldn't want to get people in trouble. I'm not much for that. Okay. The deportation of people who are illegally entering the country and undocumented, I believe, is not correct, but also correct in a way of the country's safety and security for Sorry, there's more messages. I'm sorry. Can I have a second?
Yeah, for sure. You're good, man. I mean, I actually don't understand how, like, I don't have more guests like you that are, like, super nervous. Because there is, like, actively, like, 22,000 people watching the live.
I remember
Oh.
joining Parker's live when he had like 1,000 people and I hadn't done a live before, and I was like shaking in my goddamn boots, bro. So
I
it's like
definitely have.
it's like I'm surprised that like we don't have like more guests that are nervous. And if anything, I think that being nervous just means you're more mindful and likely more intelligent. Like,
I'm very open to having my mind changed.
I get it. I get it. It's like you see like all the other guests coming up and they're like not nervous at all. Like I think that speaks towards like a lower level of intelligence. So I totally get it.
Yeah, I'm more open to having my mind changed, I think, than anything. Because the only politics I've ever really known, I'm homeschooled. So the only politics I've known have been through my parents and what they allow me to see. So it's very one-sided in what I learn. And I believe that there is a better side to politics.
Listen, that's why we do these lives. So how about this? Let's go over mass deportation. You're telling us that you support mass deportation because you think it'll make the country safer and undocumented immigrants make the country less safe, right?
That's kind of what I gathered from hearing my parents and what I've watched and the debates I've watched on TV, both live and some of yours with people who support Trump.
So undocumented immigrants don't enter into the country the use of undocumented means because they're criminals or because they're escaping mental asylums, as Trump said, or because they're violent gang members. They enter into the country the use of undocumented means because the legal means are just unattainable. Okay? Like imagine if you had to wait in a line for 12 years to, I don't know, get lunch. But, if you were to go around to the back of the building, you could just kind of pick up a burger right there on the spot and leave the money on the doorstep, right? You'd probably do that, right? And guess what? It could take 12 years to become a legal citizen of this country because of how neglected and slow and depraved the legal means of entry have become. And because of that, we see that undocumented immigrants, they're not bad people, they're not criminals, they're not violent, they don't make this country less safe. In fact, they make the country safer, as they are 2.5 times less likely to commit violent crimes, 3 times less likely to commit property crimes, and 3.5 times less likely to commit petty crimes. They're here to work, they're here to generate an income to provide for themselves and their families, and they're here for a better life, right? Those are the facts. Now, if we have any remaining security concerns, it's just going to be the security concern of having millions of people in our country that are unidentified by our government and their respective residency or citizenship. And I agree, that is a concern, right? We should have everybody identified as a resident or citizen, and that's why I support mass amnesty, which would be giving the undocumented immigrants a pathway to residency or citizenship. And I think that is incredibly meaningful and valuable.
Could you expand on the definition of amnesty for me? I'm writing a bunch of stuff down.
Mass amnesty is just the process of offering undocumented immigrants a pathway to residency or citizenship instead of deporting them. And that's not only better for them because they get to continue to provide for themselves and their families, but it's also better for the country as a whole because they get to continue to provide for their works and their families, and that generates more GDP growth, that generates more employment for our employers, and that generates more consumers for our companies.
Thank you. And could you expand a tad on, hold on, I should preface this with asking about your opinion on Trump's reaction to Charlie Kirk. Now, you do not have to answer that.
I'll give my opinion on it. I'll give my opinion on it.
Thank you.
She was asked about it by a bunch of people in the press. They're like, oh, how are you feeling? And then he was like, I'm doing okay, but let's go look at this ballroom. I don't know. That was supposed to be his main guy, right? And he just brushed it off and turned around. I think it spoke a lot about Trump's character in that moment, considering, how much Donald Trump had spoken previously, how much of an affinity he had towards Charlie Kirk.
Yeah. I don't really have much else to say other than thank you for having me.
I have a question for you, if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
So you talked about how your political beliefs are shaped by the fact that you're homeschooled and also your parents, and you stated that you have an idea that mass deportation would be a good thing, and then even more so you kind of deflected and went over to Charlie Kirk. I have a question that kind of connects both, right? When you think about the mass amount of violence within our country, and you can specifically look at gun violence and mass shootings, events, things like that, how often do you see anyone that's, let's say, an undocumented immigrant partaking in that type of violence?
I suppose you don't see it a lot. Not as much as, people make it out to seem.
All right. So if we understand that we do have an actual gun issue here within the United States because we have gun culture, and these mass shootings keep occurring at such a rapid rate where Canada had, I want to say, like 300 some odd mass shootings last year, and the United States had over 4,000. When you take a look at that and you take a look at the amount of, I guess you could say, homegrown crime that we have, why wouldn't we put more of a focus on like gun reform more so than like mass deportation, where if like there's American citizens that it's more harmful than undocumented immigrants?
That really, I think that actually makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. I would just say, like, it's easy to pick like the low-hanging fruit and blame other people for like the things that are happening in our country and say, look at this person, is because they're coming here and they're causing problems. But if we keep blaming others instead of actually looking at what we're doing and how we can fix ourselves, then we'll never actually get any type of fix in our country. So I would just say take a step back and take a look at what we can do to fix the things that we're messing up before we start to try to shift the blame to others.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense than what I've heard. It seems a lot more organized, and that's my cat.
They're so cute.
Thank you. They're named after Salem witches, Sabrina the Teenage Witch's cat, and Binks, as in Thackeray Binks from Hocus Pocus.
Fire. Well, is there anything
I'm so
else?
proud of them.
Is there anything else that you want to go over today, Cadence?
Actually, yes, I'd like to expand a little bit more on your guys' opinions on the whole Afghanistan situation. I didn't know about it, as I've been a little bit too busy working on schoolwork, but I would like to hear a tad bit more of your guys' opinion on it, if that's okay.
Yeah, for sure. We'll go over this and then I'll probably move on to the next guest. War in Afghanistan not only destabilized the region, war in Afghanistan not only led to the deaths of so many innocent individuals on both sides, but war in Afghanistan cost trillions of dollars and was an endless, unwinnable war that honestly is already reflected on in American history as a bad decision by our government. So I don't think we should repeat what we already know is wrong.
Thank you. Sorry, I was writing it down.
No worries. I hope you have a good rest of your day and you have a good one.
Thank you. You too, Dean.
Yeah, you take care. All right, we're gonna move on to the next guest. So people like Cadence are like truly those that I run streams like this for. Like, though that's the main demographic for outreach. You know, I feel like it's really easy for like a lot of us to forget that some people can be good people but support Trump because of a lack of education and like a compelling over amount of social conditioning. Like, there is a rare but still yet possible intersection of social conditioning and a lack of education that will lead to a Trump supporter with a good heart. But we just never come across them. You know, like if you, not, or at least not too frequently, if you watch my streams frequently, then you will know guests like Cadence are very, very rare, but they do exist nonetheless. And, you know, they're out there and probably watching quietly right now. So that's why I like to do these streams. But let's go ahead and get that next guest loaded up in here. Go ahead and hop in that queue if you support Trump and we'll get you connected. Only hop in that queue if you support Trump. And yeah, we're going to go to move on right now.
One thing I'll say really quick is I always tell people, especially younger people, the more you experience and the more you see the world, the bigger things become, and the more you realize that it's not all about you, and you tend to actually care more about people. So exposure is key, and she seemed like she didn't get that exposure, but she got a lot up here with you just now, so that's a good thing.
Right, exactly. You know, like, what can you like realistically expect out of somebody that was homeschooled by MAGA parents? Like, there's like no exposure.
I'm shocked that she was so open.
Right,
like, that was surprising.
For real. No, absolutely. What's going on? Do you support Trump?
So I came on last night and I asked if we had to specifically ask the question. And I guess my question for you would be, can I give you my viewpoints and you tell me if they would align with Trump?
Well, let's sum it up.
Okay.
Let's sum it up. If you could teleport back to November, who do you vote for? Knowing everything that you do now.
I don't know, because I did not become very political and looking into stuff. I didn't even know about you until this whole Charlie Kirk situation. I haven't voted, and truly, I don't know where my beliefs align.
Give me 4 of them rapid fire, and I'll give you 4 rapid fire responses.
Okay, abortion. I feel like it should not be controlled by the government.
Okay.
But I also don't feel like it should be abused. But I see the viewpoint that we can't make that determination. We can't just say can't be used for these.
Blue.
Okay.
Next.
Hold on, let me think of the next one. Gun violence. I do think that it should be regulated, but I do not think it should completely go away.
Blue leaning. Blue. Blue/blue leaning. Go ahead.
Hold on, let me think of the next one. I have no notes, so give me some ideas. So what are like the main ones?
I don't know. If you don't have any more, I'm going to move on to the next guest. But if you have 2 more, feel free to throw them out there.
So for like benefits for SNAP, for example, I do think that it should be more heavily regulated than what it currently is. I don't think that it should just be open. I think on your live the other night, you were talking about the ability to like regulate the amount of hours that they're working.
Red.
I think
more regulation on food stamps is probably red.
Okay. I think that we should have, healthcare available to everybody, but it's difficult with the taxes because I don't believe that there should be higher taxes for that. I feel like we already pay enough into the government.
When you say we, do you mean the average American?
Yes.
Blue. All right, there you go. Have a good rest of your day. We're going to move on to the next guest, guys. Let's get that next guest loaded up into the box right now, everyone. We're going to get that next guest connected, but please do make sure that we're following the rules. Only hop in that queue if you happen to support Trump and you want to come up here and debate me and Santana, and so far as why. We're going to get that next guest connected right now. Yeah, so it's actually blue to say that you don't like want the average American to pay more taxes. Like the blue's whole thing is like more progressive taxation system. What's up? Do you support Trump?
Well, how are you doing today? But yeah.
You do? How old are you?
19, January 22nd, 2006, almost 20.
Fantastic.
I knew you were going to ask.
There you got it. You got it locked and loaded, Steve. Do you mind, real quick, before we hop into our conversation, can I thank a handful of people here?
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Annie with a $50 super chat over on YouTube. Thank you so much for the love once again, Annie. They say, please everyone stop messaging and swarming the comments on guests' posts. It's only going to make people afraid to request up. Y'all are hurting the live. It's pretty real. That is real. I will say that the swarm comments on that last guest's post, I guess one before last, ended up all being positive though. You guys really liked her. In fact, I had one of my Discord mods send me a message and be like, tell her to join the Discord. Because we like her. As well as James, thank you so much for the $25 over on PayPal, saying thank you for all that you do. I appreciate you for that love, James. Show some love to James down below in that comment section. As well as Katrina. Thank you so much for the $30. Show some love to Katrina. Katrina says, Dean, I love you. Keep doing what you're doing. Get pushed. Well, thank you for being here, Katrina. Thank you for your kind words, and thank you for the $30. As well as Mel with the $10, saying I watch you every day. Thank you for educating people, and hope that you're doing all right. Mel, I know your name by heart. Yeah, you've donated like a handful of times, so many times. Thank you for being here, Mel, and I appreciate you for the 10. As well as Josephine with a 5, and Ella with a 3, Brody with a 3, Dylan with a 5, and Neo with a 5. I'd also like to quickly thank Ellie with a $15 on PayPal, sorry, on Venmo, and Serenity with a 20. Show some love to Serenity and Ellie down below in that chat. As well as, let's see here. Oh my God, dude, Cindy. Thank you so much for the $100 donation on Venmo. That is like so kind. Holy fuck. You and so many other people have been so very kind today. I do not deserve that. Thank you for the $100, Sydney. Show some love to Sydney alongside all of the other donors down below in that chat. Seriously, guys, thank you so much. Everyone in the chat is spamming that you're 18, Steven.
That's because my TikTok says 18. I haven't changed that thing in I don't know how long. I probably have one TikTok video on there.
I believe you. I believe you. Plus, even if you were 18, you could be on the live. Tell us why you support Trump.
So my biggest thing is I'm not with the like necessarily mass deportation part of it, because in my opinion, I don't think that there should be anyone just kicked out, but I also don't think that anyone should just be able to come in.
And you don't think that we should have open borders? Nobody does. Well, I mean, actually, that's not true. Some people do. Anarcho-libertarians, anarcho-capitalists, and communists. Maybe some socialists too. But
so
most people don't think that we should have open
me out of all people, I didn't vote. I'm not too big because I think both parties have issues. I think there should be more of a median party, such as, I don't know how to explain it.
Keep in mind, we're very specifically looking for the reasons why you support Trump as president. If that's not the case, that's okay. I'll just move on to the next guest.
All right, so more or less, though, it's more the deportation thing. I support Trump because of deportation, but not the mass deportation part of it.
Okay, so are you saying like you support like the deportation of undocumented immigrants with like prior criminal offenses, violent offenses, etc.?
Pretty much.
So if you go to ice.gov/statistics, you isolate for quarterly statistics on arrests of undocumented immigrants. Then you isolate once again for those with prior violent criminal offenses. You'll actually see that more of them were deported under the Biden-Harris administration since they were specifically focusing on them compared to focusing on everyone like Trump. So this is actually a reason to not like Trump.
So another part is so I live in South Carolina. I'm 19. Me and my fiance, we own our own house. And that's another thing. House prices and interest rates are insane.
How the hell
real
did
quick,
you manage?
upstate Midlands or low country?
Charleston.
Okay, the Chuck.
How did you, dude, managing to buy a house with a fiance at 19 is pretty impressive. Good for you, man.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. It's a lot.
That's insane. Yeah, it's really crazy.
But more or less, my opinion on everything is I don't think that. Damn, I just lost it.
You were saying the housing market was expensive and interest rates are super expensive.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane. Like we locked in at a 6.625.
Yeah.
Oh,
maybe
we locked in at a 6.625. So.
Yeah, just refi in a couple of years, you'll be good. But honestly, I'm not really hearing any argument for why you support Trump. I think I'm going to move on to the next guest. But Steven, you have a good rest of your night.
Yes, sir. You as well.
All right. We're going to go get that next guest loaded up into the box right now. Okay. We're going to try to find somebody that supports Trump to come up here and tell us why. I feel like we're failing. But the guests aren't being terrible. No. It's just like a lot of them are kind of like loosey-goosey. Which I'm happy. I'm happy we have an audience in here that's like, loosey-goosey, not like super pro-Trump, but also like not left. Like that is like the perfect audience to try to convince of like a particular set of political beliefs. So I'm reaching my target audience.
I think it's kind of harder to continue to support him at such a high level because of all the things that are actually happening, and you can feel the actual impact now.
Yeah, like the people that are like legitimately MAGA anymore are just like crazies. Just actually crazies. Like if you really support Trump, you're crazy. What's up? Do you support Trump, Keto?
Hi. Oh my God. I never thought I was going to get chosen for this. I'm like ecstatic right now. Yes, I support Trump.
Okay.
But like, I'm like, okay. All right, whatever. Anyway, my biggest thing is I have small children in school systems where they have transgender other kids.
Okay. Okay.
And let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. I know you've gone over abortion, you got over all that stuff, but I have 2 small daughters. I don't want them in restrooms and locker rooms and sports with biological men. That's my...
Point number 1, we cannot have a debate about trans individuals on TikTok Live. For whatever reason, they take me down.
Oh.
They will flag your account with hate speech. They'll ban you, and that'll be a mark against my live stream. Okay? Right?
All right.
Now, it is a case that, we all know what you're saying. We hear you. We disagree. Well, I disagree with you. But I want to see if I could like frame this debate in a separate way. So you're telling us that, like, you'd be uncomfortable with like a trans woman in like a bathroom or a changing room, just doing their own business with your daughters. How uncomfortable would you be if there was a man like me or Santana, or just, a cis man that wasn't only in a woman's restroom or changing room with your daughters, but was in there for nefarious reason to perv on the women and girls in this space, like your daughters. How would you feel about that man?
I don't want anybody who has man genitalia to be in a locker room, a bathroom, a changing room with a female.
Okay, so can you answer my question? Like, how would you feel about a man that did do that?
I think it would be crossing the line.
How would it be incredibly wrong? So, like, for instance, if there's a cis man that like walked into a woman's dressing room where like there was naked women and naked teenage girls inside just to look at them while they're naked and undressed, do you think that man should go to jail for the rest of his life?
No, absolutely not. But there has to be some kind of like penalized situation. I mean, that could be attempted, grape. Let's say.
My answer would be yeah. Like people like that, they should go to jail. Like not necessarily as like a punishment for what they did, but sure as a punishment for what they did. But for the most part, just because they're like a fucking threat to society.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah, definitely. I agree with that 100%. I'm glad you agree with that.
So would you ever vote like a threat to society like this into the presidency?
You have to define those terms.
Like, for instance, hypothetically, Trump is a good man. He would never do this in a billion years. Okay, he's a moral, good man. But hypothetically, if he wasn't, and he walked into the dressing rooms, and inside of these dressing rooms, there were undressed naked women and undressed naked girls, and he looked at them and perved on them while they were naked, and he like boasted about it like it was an accomplishment or something funny, when in all reality, it was sexual perversion. Would you ever support him as president then?
Oh, I know where you're getting at, because he was in charge of basically, what is it, the Miss America pageants?
Yeah, no, he didn't do this there. He didn't. It's seriously just hypothetical. You could replace like Trump with Biden, like whatever. Just like if he did this, would you still support him as president?
You have a very good point, but I think it's different when, let's just say.
Would you?
Okay,
Would you
no. Listen to my point.
Would you still support him?
No. Listen to my point.
The answer is no?
It's different. It's different when women are of age, where they're 21 plus, and they're adults.
It's not.
It is.
No.
And then when you have small children who are 6, 7, 8.
I don't think it's different. I don't think it's different insofar as
How is
how
it
wrong
not
it is.
different?
Yeah, right. Because we'd say it would be wrong to do to the teens because it's unconsensual in virtue of the fact that they can't consent. Well, guess what? Although women can consent, if they don't consent, it's still unconsensual.
It is. Yeah, no, I agree with that. However, small children cannot really defend themselves as much as more adult women. And I also, I'm an adult woman, and a lot of adult women can still not defend themselves. They are still very much meek.
Can we disagree? Like, it's really like wrong and disgusting to do all the time. Like, sexual exploitation is always wrong and disgusting.
I agree. It's always wrong.
And also, Santana, I see your hand. I'm sorry. Like, she's taking a long time for me to like prod this like argument out of.
You're good. I was waiting patiently.
it's just like she's not working with me here, so it's gonna take a while. So now that we've agreed that sexual exploitation like this is always wrong. Okay, if Trump had hypothetically boasted about sexually exploiting naked grown women and naked teens in their women-only spaces that he walked into unconsensually, hypothetically, because he would never do this in a million years because he's a good man, would you still support him as president?
Well, I know he's done that, and I still do support him as president. And okay, don't put your head back like that. There's reasons why I do. There's reasons why I don't support the left. But go ahead. Oh my God, I'm so excited I'm here with you right now, Dean.
I'm not excited I'm here with you. Santana, it's your time to shine. Go for it.
It's not about protecting kids for you or about quote unquote men and women's spaces. It's about bigotry. That's it. You don't care. Donald Trump, literally his best friend for 15 years was Jeffrey Epstein. His spiritual advisor from his first administration was actually locked up and brought up on charges for being a pedophile. His first pick for attorney general was Matt Gaetz, who was investigated and found to actually grape someone under the age of 18. Well, had schmecks with someone under the age of 18. And that's why he resigned from the House and he was trying to run to the AG spot literally, it's not about any of that. And those things are well documented. You just don't care. It's about you wanting to support bigotry and hate. That's it.
No, you're completely false. I don't.
So do you support the fact that Donald Trump has multiple PDF files in his orbit?
I understand that he is a convicted felon.
I'm not talking about him being a felon. He has multiple PDF files in his orbit. People who have actively and who are on trial and who have, been convicted for touching little kids. Are you okay with that?
No, definitely not. But also, let's just talk about, we can go back to Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton.
What is the whataboutism for? We're talking about Donald Trump and your support. Did
check this
Donald
out.
Trump run against Bill Clinton?
Check this out. I'll actually entertain the whataboutism real quick. Bill Clinton. So one of the Epstein victims indicated that she was like forced to go to Africa and Bill Clinton was there. You know what my thoughts are on that? Bye, Bill.
Lock him up.
Lock him up.
Bill Clinton, Bill Nye, like Neil Armstrong, hell, Jimmy Carter, dig him up too and send him to jail. It does
dig
not
him up and
matter
throw
for
him in
us.
jail. Yeah,
exactly.
that was.
It doesn't matter for
That was
us.
crazy to say, but I mean the point is clear. that was
Not
pretty.
Bill Nye, the science guy.
Like we don't hold the same position as you all. That's why you can't get a whataboutism on us, because if anyone has harmed kids, we want to see them brought to justice. You guys protect them and you vote for him and you put him in office and he continues to not protect kids.
Also, can you read this for us?
Me?
Yeah.
Like
out loud.
Gosh, I could barely say it.
Do you want me to make it bigger?
Yeah, make it bigger.
All right, let me make it bigger.
That's what she said.
See, that's also bigotry right there. You
It's
just
not.
said
It's
that.
Michael Scott. It's from
I
The
know
Office.
it's Michael Scott. I love the fucking Office.
And that's not bigotry, but it's Michael Scott. I couldn't help it.
That's you being a man.
No.
But
That's
no,
me
I
being a
appreciate
fan of The Office. That has nothing to do with the being a man.
I love The
don't
Office.
know. I might
Watch every episode, but you just said
that was a pretty.
I said make it bigger. You said that's what she said. That's
I couldn't help
definitely.
that. I'm a huge Michael Scott fan.
It wasn't bigotry, but it was kind of a man thing.
It's definitely, but I love The Office. Love Michael Scott. Watch every episode 100 times. I know that's what she said, and I get that's in jest, and I'm not going to be offended to it in any way.
But let's not deflect off the PDF file.
Can you read this?
No,
Go back to that.
Let me just make this a point. If it was somebody who is a extreme leftist, and you just said
I'm an extreme
them,
leftist.
okay,
I'm
let's
much
just
more
say,
extreme than
let's
you.
just say you said that to somebody who was like a he, she, they, them, whatever, and you were like, "That's
I've made
what
that.
she said.
I've made that joke
That's
to my
what she
transgender.
said."
I've made that
I
joke
think
to my
somebody-
transgender
You're
friends.
talking over me, and I'm sorry,
I think
but
that I think that you think that
they would
being
take offense
soft
to that.
is something that is on the left, but literally, you guys are the ones that are so hurt because we ask you to respect people's pronouns, and we like.
Can I
that's
I'm
that's
not
a you
hurt
thing.
at all.
Can I
You're
just
hurt
like?
about it, but
can
Dean
I-
has something that you
can
want
I- Why are you more upset with Santana saying that's what she said than this letter that Trump sent to Epstein, outlined by the
Exactly.
picture of a naked woman or girl, where they're
Dean.
talking about wonderful, beautiful, like, bro, read the goddamn
listen.
letter.
Listen, Dean, first of all, I can't see the letter. You have to make it bigger. I was just making a joke about him saying that's what she said, which is, I just find it, honestly, I'm laughing about it. I'm not offense. Like, I don't
Sorry,
find it
you took
at all.
offense, snowflake.
No, I'm not. I'm not offensive at all. I love Office. I love Michael Scott.
Are you gonna get
use that
Santana
joke on
fired from his
multiple
job now?
I don't
That's
even know.
another thing that they're doing. That,
I don't even know. Honestly, I don't even know who Santana
free
is.
speech.
Listen,
That's
I
what
don't
they're
even know
doing.
who Santana is.
Can you just please read the letter? I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
okay.
Just please read the letter.
Okay, hold on.
It is like so big and right there in the screen. Please read it. Out loud? Like out? Can you read it out loud, please?
No, it's gone. Hold on.
Okay, well now it's back.
I'm an old woman. I can't read. Hold on. Okay, so it says voice over. There must be more to life than having everything. Donald. Yes, there is. I won't tell you what it is. Jeffrey. Nor will I since I also know what it is, Donald, we have certain things in common. Jeffrey, yes, we do. Come in, think of it, maybe?
Come to think of it.
Okay, Donald, enigma, never age.
Move it up. Go ahead.
Does it say enigma, never age? Have you noticed that? Jeffrey.
Enigmas never age. Have you noticed that? Go ahead.
Jeffrey, as a matter of fact, it's clear to me the last time I saw you, Donald, a pal's a wonderful thing. Happy birthday. Okay, when was that written?
Whoa, don't stop. And may every day be another wonderful secret. And I have a question. What is this outlined with? What is that?
A woman's body. I mean, I would say it's a woman's body, but it doesn't mean other people would declare it a woman's body.
Okay. So, yeah, what are your thoughts on Donald Trump sending a letter to Epstein talking about this thing that they have in common that they won't say explicitly that's better than life itself, and how Donald Trump wants Epstein to have beautiful secrets every single day outlined by the depiction of the naked body of a woman, or honestly a girl, right? You know, I'm not saying that
Is
women,
it a girl?
I'm not saying that women can't have small breasts, but a matter of fact, with the things that we know about Jeffrey Epstein and the fact that that framing had small breasts is telling.
I would ask you initially, when was that letter written? Do you have
2003.
documentation? When was it?
2003.
Oh, okay. So that's 22 years ago at this point. I think everybody on both sides of the spectrum, the left and the right, have some kind of real dark issues. I think they. I
don't think Kamala Harris had any.
Can you address this dark one?
Yeah, could you address this dark one though? Good point. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Trump has a lot of skeletons in his closet. For 100%, he definitely has skeletons in his closet.
Why are you like? Why are you laughing? I didn't want to say anything, but it's like, do you realize what we're talking about right now?
Yes, I do. Something from 22 years ago. Is that what you're talking about?
22 years ago, 22,000 years ago, at the beginning of millennium, at the beginning of time, when you're kikiing with one of the most notorious child sex traffickers in modern American history, and sending them letters talking about their similarities that they can't say that are explicitly, but they will say they're better than life itself, and talking about the wonderful secrets they're going to have together every single day, framed by the depiction of the naked body of a woman or girl. I think that this indicates that at the bare minimum, Donald Trump knew what he was doing, and more reasonably, Donald Trump was doing it with him.
But also, can I just highlight the point to double down on what Dean is saying? Let's not forget that Donald Trump openly admitted that he and Epstein share a taste in women. Similar, he said Epstein with a little bit on the younger side than him. So he openly admitted that they both enjoy the same type of women, and we know for a fact that Epstein was targeting underage women. So that even more solidifies Dean's point.
Okay. There's so many people involved in the Epstein files on both sides of the chart.
I just guess it's a both
Nobody
sides issue. Was Kamala Harris?
She hasn't been quoted on the Epstein files. She hasn't partaken in anything. But what you want to talk about, Kamala Harris?
No,
Is that where
I'm just
we're
saying,
going?
now you're just trying to say that everyone's involved. Well, if she was involved in the 90s, she would have been in her mid-20s as a woman. If she was involved with Epstein, how would she been involved with him as a victim? Okay, but do we have any evidence of that?
I didn't bring that up. I'm not talking about.
Well, I'm just
Kamala
saying, you're saying
Harris.
that. Oh, well, now you're you don't really have an argument against the facts that at the bare minimum, Donald Trump knew what Epstein was doing, and more reasonably, he was doing it with him. And now we're getting to this point where you can't argue that against that. So now you're just saying, well, it's just a uni-party thing. Everyone's implicated. And while I do agree that a lot of people are implicated, regardless of their political affiliation, right now you're still happening to defend a president. And honestly, the reasonable response to this wouldn't be because more people than Trump are involved, therefore you're okay with the fact Trump's involved. No, you should say because more people than Trump were involved, you should despise them all and want them all to go to jail. Mm-hmm.
I think that's what I said prior. I was like, I don't agree with any of them doing any of this.
So I want to clarify. You no longer support Trump as president because of this, right?
No, I do.
Why is that not reasonable? Why is it not reasonable to say that because he was best buddies with a child sex trafficker and he knew what he was doing, or he was doing it with him, that you wouldn't support him as the leader of the goddamn quote unquote free world? What?
Okay, but was he really best buddies? I think the last photo was like 20.
Yes, they were best bud for 15 years. Both of them are on record talking about how great of friends they were. Epstein literally had pictures of Trump in his bedroom, on his night dresser in his home in Manhattan.
Yeah, and on his desk, and on his work desk.
Yep.
Yeah, and he also had the Clintons on the plane. He had major leftist celebrities on their plane.
If they're guilty, lock them up.
Yeah, exactly. Dean and I keep trying to wait.
He also had
Keto,
King Charles on the plane.
Keto, you keep
People
pivoting.
from Europe on the plane.
Keto, you keep pivoting. You can name everyone else, and Dean and I are going to say the same thing. We just want to hear you hold the same energy that we have for everyone else you've named for Trump.
See,
there's no one that you're going to name that we're going to say, oh, they're okay.
See, like the difference between me, Santana, and you is that we don't politicize child rape. And you're throwing out political affiliations like fucking Yu-Gi-Oh cards, assuming that that is going to change our mind on the morality of child rape in the same way it has changed yours.
Nope.
Okay. You guys are so wrong right now, because my whole entire first question was I support Trump because I don't want men or boys in the same locker room with my 2 daughters, my small children. And now you're throwing it all out there like I'm supporting.
But your premise was the reason why you didn't want that is because you don't want people touching little kids. You don't want, and we specifically showed you not only how has Donald Trump engaged with being in spaces with underage and women without consent, but he's also affiliated with the biggest PDF file in the world, and you still can't actually condemn him, even though you're saying that that's the reason you voted for him, and like it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
What it comes down to, it's picking the lesser of the 2 evils, and I thought Trump was lesser than the leftists.
What was Kamala Harris' most evil thing?
Here, before you answer that question, there's a couple of people that I'd like to thank here. Ellie, this was 40 minutes ago. It's just been a long debate, so I haven't gone around to you, and I do apologize. Thank you for the $15 on Venmo. Ellie says, love you and will always support you. Keep on doing what you're doing. Thank you, Ellie. Thank you for the $15 and your support. As well as, let's see here, Marilyn, thank you for the $10, saying, Dean, watching your streams every day keeps me sane, thinking that there are really others that think like I do. Honestly, Marilyn, sometimes I go insane because of all the shit, and these lives keep me sane too because of you and all of the other cool people in the chats. I get it. Thank you for the $10. It is very kind of you. As well as Alex, thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo, saying love what you do and what you stand for. Me and my bestie are listening to you during our travels to Colorado. Shit, Alex, where are you guys going to? It's a great state out here. Great state. Marcus, thank you for the $10 as well, saying hi, I've been watching your lives and I love what you're doing with Open Dialogue. Thank you, Marcus. I'm Christian and love Jesus, and wanted to tell you, ... I'm going to assume that you went on to say that Jesus loves you too. Well, pray for me, Marcus. Pray for me, okay? How about that? Then with another $2, thank you, Marcus. Okay, all right, we're going to go ahead and...
I have quick 2 to read off, if that's okay.
Yeah, go for it.
3. Major thank yous for Margarita, who sent $20, saying thank you for your voice. Absolutely, I appreciate you so much. Thank you to Lori, who sent $20, says sending love. I appreciate you more than you can ever imagine. And Shannon, fucking massive W's for Shannon for the $50 donation, saying thank you for what you do, Santana. You are fucking amazing. Thank you, Shannon. I really appreciate everyone.
And then just 3 more people here. James, thank you for the $25 over on PayPal, saying thank you for all that you do. Thank you, James. Show some love to James down below. And Anne, thank you so much for the $100 donation on PayPal. Anne, that is ridiculous. Thank you. Anne, with 100 big ones, says, so glad to see you back. I was afraid that you would stop doing your lives. Nope. I love this shit way too goddamn much. I love it. I love it. I love it. You know, also plus, also like something else to bring up here is, you know, like the misinformation
that is spread about me like becoming a conservative has just been mind-boggling. So it's like
You're gonna
like,
be.
I don't think so. So it's like also worth continuing to do the lives just so people know that's not true, and that misinformation will like inevitably end after like a couple more months when people are like, huh, those videos I saw on my For You page of like random people with 12 followers saying that Dean was going to be a conservative that got 700,000 likes were misinformation. You know what I mean? But I appreciate you so much for the love, Ann. As well as Betsy with the $2 and Morgan with the 3 and Steph with the 1. Appreciate you guys. Go ahead.
Okay, I'd like to take a minute to support my followers who have not been following this live at all, and I have zero money donated to me. And this is a laughable joke. Okay, can we laugh at it? Can we laugh at it? I'm just saying, you guys are like, oh, thanks for the 100, thanks for the 200. You know, like, I would like to thank
Meredith. Thank you for the 10. Thank you for being a voice of reason. Absolutely, Meredith. You're absolutely awesome. Thank you for the 10.
Dean, did you get it though?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just like, hey, I like to support nobody for supporting me. How about that? No money, no nothing. Just laughable. Just laughable. I'm here just to talk to you. And I don't really know what it is. I feel like it might give me like a little closure with you and Charlie Kirk situation. I'm not even sure why I spent the last 4 hours.
That was a weird pivot. Can you go back to what we were saying about Trump actually being actively engaged with PDF files and contradicting literally what you said you support him for?
Okay, they're all everybody, I feel like the left and the right, all Republicans, Democrats, they have some kind of pedophiles, whatever you want to call it, in their history.
I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I can't believe this response. I can't, like, dude, reground yourself in reality to realize what you are saying right now. Just like
I know what I'm saying.
No, you don't. I am refusing to believe that you know what you're saying because of my optimism in humanity. Okay, I cannot come to terms with the fact that a rational human would ever say these things. You're saying that you're literally okay with the commander-in-chief being a goddamn pedophile because other people are pedophiles too. I can't. I like. Oh.
Because first of all, he's not a pedophile. He didn't like commit crimes against young underage children. And this is not even why I'm here. I'm telling you, I don't want men or boys who think they're girls to be in the same bedrooms, restrooms, blah, blah, blah with females.
You don't want trans women to be in women's spaces, but you'll want predator men to be in women's spaces. If a trans woman is in a woman's space, then you're going to vote for a fascist that doesn't care about the Constitution to pass economic policy to reduce the purchasing power of half of America while also being a 34-count felon, adjudicated rapist that is openly boasted about perving on girls in their space. But if a rich billionaire white man from New York not only enters into a woman's only space and sexually exploits the women and girls in that space, but also rapes a woman and says they're going to date a 10-year-old girl in 10 years and fulfills all 14 tenets of fascism, make him president. This leads me to believe is you don't genuinely care about the safety of women and girls. You don't genuinely care about the safety of our youth. You just care about the prefix or the first word in your sentence, which is trans, right?
Yep.
It is the Red Scare of the 21st century for conservatives in America. Trans individuals have not only been stigmatized and subjugated to so much unwarranted hate and oppression on behalf of those on the right, but they were also upon the third largest block for investment for ads prior to the 2024 election. Listen, you've been conned.
215 million.
You've been conned. You were convinced of a boogeyman that doesn't exist. Trans individuals just want to live their lives the same way you live yours, and don't act like you genuinely care about the safety of anyone when you're actively supporting and allowing and condoning every single thing me and Santana have discussed with you about Trump in the last 30 minutes.
Boom. Boom. Also, less than 1% of the population. Like, let's not act like this is, other situations. Less than 1% of the population. You're a bigot. Sorry. Not sorry. Muted. Hey, Dean, did you see that Donald Trump and his cabinet are specifically trying to work up legislation or ways around legislation so they can ban trans individuals from being able to own guns?
Oh, yeah. You mean the blatant Second Amendment violation that now even the far-right NRA has spoken out against? That one?
Yep.
Yeah, I did hear about that. Keto, I sent you an invite to unmute. To unmute your mic, all that you got to do is click on your profile picture and click the icon of the mic, and it will unmute itself. Hello?
I think she's stunned silent. Guys, as Keto tries to figure out how to work a mic, if you would like to support Dean, all the pay links are in the link tree in the bio, and you can also send a YouTube super chat. Make sure you're showing love.
Yes, well, Say What? Thank you for the $50 super chat over on YouTube. Say What with a $50 says, I'm a 52-year-old and a new fan of yours. Young people like you give me hope for the future. Keep doing what you're doing. Thank you, Say What. Show some love to Say What down below. As well as Kayla, thank you for the $10 on super chat, and Jocelyn with the $10 as well. Jocelyn, that's funny. That's funny, Jocelyn. That's really funny. Okay, anything else, kiddo?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I would never discriminate against anybody. Bottom line is, you guys come out here, I feel like you really create a lot of division. And I'm on the side of where I'm like, no, we don't have to have like such a huge divide. Like I voted for Trump and I support Trump, but I am not like Trump is all of that. We have to like, he's God, nothing like that. Like, I just want to find the middle ground, and I would never disrespect anybody else for their opinions. But I feel like anybody who supports Trump gets completely disrespected and like torn apart immediately.
Well,
What's the middle ground for fascism?
So the disrespect that you've seen from me so far in this live hasn't been because you've been saying things that are political. It's because you've been saying things that are gravely immoral. I understand wanting to be able to come together as a country, set party lines aside, and have good civil discourse between them, and to treat each other with kindness and have universal empathy, and not have politics leading the minds of everyone, right? And that's the end goal for me, to get politics back to a place where we're debating minimal facts of tax code, not human rights. But guess what, ma'am? You have now signed yourself up not just to a political party, but a cult where you are now defending an individual perving on the naked bodies of little girls, saying that is not enough to make you not support him, and in fact you don't even care that he's implicated with Epstein due to the fact that you think many other people in the government are too. It's just simply different from simple political discussion. It's something much worse and much different.
Also, it is crazy, but it's true. Like literally everything that he just said was true, and it is crazy, but that's what you're doing.
How is that crazy? I came on here saying I didn't want men or boys in the same locker rooms as women or girl children.
Dude,
that's what I came up and now you guys are twisting this whole thing.
You're literally like using like transphobia as like a shield to protect you from my words.
It's not. I don't care.
Like,
be who you want to be.
Why won't you respond to like any specific things that I just said?
Go ahead. Say something.
Well, I just said everything. If you can't respond to them, I'm gonna move on.
You accused me of things I never said.
Okay. So do you still support Trump, even though he admitted to sexually exploiting and perving on girls in their spaces?
No, I don't support that.
No, do you still support him as president, even though he did these things?
Well, he's our president now. It doesn't mean I do support it currently.
That's not the question. Please answer the question directly.
How about before you answer that question, we listen to the clip? Let's take a listen.
You go over, you're meeting the girls and stuff. One of them comes up to you and says, Mr. Trump, you're a very sexy man.
You're a beautiful man. You have fantastic hair.
Well, you're a powerful man. Right? You're a powerful man. Right. I want to sleep with you. Now, you're not the type that would say no.
I don't want to hurt their feelings.
Right. No, but I mean, you see a beautiful woman, you want to have that. You're a guy who likes to have everything. Right?
Well, couldn't that be construed, however, as
conflict?
Yes.
Well, I don't see it as a conflict.
It could be a conflict of interest, but it's the kind of thing you worry about later.
Oh, I see.
You tend to think about the conflict a little bit later on.
The question is, how can it not be construed?
No, I mean, some of these foreign girls, Mr. Trump, in my country, we say hello with vagina. And,
well, you could also say, as the owner of the pageant, it's your obligation to do that.
So you have done that. Now,
I'll tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere. and I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting.
Right,
I want to make sure that
You're like a
everything is
doctor.
good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible looking women, and so I sort of get away with things like that.
That was gross.
Okay, that
Right,
was
Keto?
what? Like maybe like
Right?
Oh, okay, listen. That was maybe what? 1992.
No, 2005. He was 68.
Okay, I'm not making excuses for that, but can we listen to how Harry Stern? Wait, is that who the guy is? Who's the guy?
Howard Stern.
Howard Stern. He baited him into that. Howard Stern baited him into that conversation. Number one. Also, Donald Trump.
Got baited into admitting he's a pervert.
Listen.
Like
Can
what?
you just stop?
Oh,
Donald Trump
so how do you feel about the pred catchers that will that will bait like literal P3dios
I'm
into
just
showing up
saying.
and getting arrested by the cops? Like when you watch what the fuck is his name? What the hell is when you watch Chris Hansen and you watch Chris Hansen bait and catch a P3dio, is your like immediate gut reaction to say, "Oh, Chris Hansen, you terrible person, you baited the P3dio."
Oh, okay. How do you guys feel about in 1988, Oprah had Donald Trump on her talk show?
What does that have to do with anything?
What does that have to do? She's a black woman,
What does that have to do
prominent
with
black
Donald
woman
Trump?
trying
What does that have to do with Donald
president.
Trump being disgusting in multiple ways and openly admitting on perving on young girls? Please.
It doesn't have anything to do with it. It really doesn't. But I'm just saying, like, you have Howard Stern being like, "Oh, come on, you didn't go in there. You didn't like check out the hotties. You didn't go in there." He's like, "Yeah, I went in there, blah blah blah." But then
Are you saying that it's okay because Howard Stern convinced him to be honest and open and made him feel comfortable enough to speak his mind?
It's not okay what he's saying, but
that's what happened, right? He made him.
That's what happened.
He made him feel comfortable enough to say the disgusting things that he was thinking.
And by the way, the only reason why he made him feel that comfortable is because Howard Stern is also disgusting. But even if it was like truly bait, like Gideon will do that. If you've ever watched like a Gideon like Predcatcher video, he'll like find the P3dios and he'll be like, "Oh, like I don't think that you're like that bad of a guy. Like don't worry, like you're not a bad guy." And then he'll get them to like talk about what they did to catch it on film to then turn over to the cops to get them arrested. Like that is like genuinely baiting those responses out of the predators. Do you take any issue with that whatsoever?
Of course, yes. It's gross. It is.
Let me be very clear on what question I'm asking you. Do you take any issue with like
please, because I don't think she got it.
I'm gonna hope not. I'm gonna hope she just misunderstood the question there. Do you take any issue of Gideon's actions there? Like baiting like the predator into like getting to admit those things. Like I don't think.
Well, I think both sides are wrong. He's baiting him. No. What am I saying wrong?
Holy fuck.
He's baiting, and the other person is agreeing to it.
Wait, so you think that it's a bad thing to lie to a predator to get them to admit to them being a predator? You think going like quote unquote undercover to get a predator to admit it to get the predator off the streets is a bad thing?
No, maybe I missed a piece of whatever because Dean has like a million fucking things hitting on his face all the time right now.
The deflection is wild. The deflection is wild.
Okay, it's fine.
I feel like you ran out of pivots and you just threw up a Hail Mary with the gifts that Dean's getting. Like that's
no, I
can't believe what I just heard.
Okay, go ahead. Reiterate it because I feel like I might have missed something.
Okay, let's hope you did. Okay, let's hope you did. Gideon is a YouTuber. He used to make funny prank.
Who's Gideon?
Gideon is a YouTuber that used to make funny prank troll videos. I watched them when I was like 12. I thought they were funny. Where he would just like fuck with people, right? And the older he got, he stopped doing that like fucking with people, like prank troll videos. And now he like literally catches predators. And like one of the ways that he'll use to do it is he'll like find where these predators are and he'll go up to them and he'll start a conversation about it. But he'll say like, "Oh, like I don't think you're that bad of a guy. Like, nah, it's not bad." To get them to open their mouths and to start talking about the things that they do that are illegal. while catching it on camera and on video and voice to then turn around and to take it to local law enforcement to turn them in, to get them arrested and sent to jail. Gideon is also someone, for whatever reason, that comes up on my stream like every 3 months to talk about politics. Anyways, I'm sure a handful of you guys in here have seen that. Do you think that what Gideon is doing there, of like baiting these responses out of the predators by priming them into thinking that it's acceptable for them to share those experiences to then turn around and turn them in, do you think what Gideon is doing there is wrong?
No, I think that's completely valid. You have to use like a reverse psychology kind of thing. You have to make them feel safe to admit their guilt and their faults and their demons, and they get locked up. I think that's valid.
I'm glad that you changed the tune there. So,
Well, I didn't.
Once again, all that this
I
means.
didn't understand it initially,
Somebody,
but
in
now
the,
that
somebody in the YouTube comment section said she got that Roblox CEO mindset, something like that.
I don't even know what the fuck Roblox is.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Now,
Hey, can you? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Dean.
I was just gonna say, now that you've understood, like baiting these response out of somebody isn't wrong. Well, then why was it your first and automatic response as it would relate to the conversation that Trump had with Howard Stern?
Well, I can't remember exactly what Howard Stern said when he played that clip, but he said something like, do you go in there and check out the hotties? Like it was something along that line, right? Like something like, do you go in there and check out the girls and how do you feel? And
Don't worry, he'll play it again. You don't have to guess.
I just don't think it's relevant. He was asking him if he did a bad thing, and then he was like, yeah, I have done this bad thing.
yeah, no, I agree. He was like, do you do this? And he's like, yeah, I do this. And I don't agree with that. But like, as far as it comes down to, it's like, in my opinion, it's the lesser of the two evils. Is it going to be Harris or is it going to be Trump? I don't know. And I don't feel comfortable with either one of them.
Okay, I'm gonna go to thank a handful of people again. This conversation's weighing on me quite a bit.
Good. I'm glad. I'm happy.
That's not a positive thing. Please let him go.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. It's hard for the conversations I have on live to truly weigh on me, to disturb my peace. It's really difficult. It's really difficult.
No, but I'm happy about this because I feel like I was on your live for like 3 hours.
Wait, you're happy that your actual conversation has been one of the more difficult conversations that he's had today.
Yeah.
Well, that's
you're happy that your conversation has been mentally taxing.
Yeah, I'll never get like desensitized to this shit. It's like I just can't believe that it exists, and I don't think I ever will be. And if there comes a day where I do become desensitized to that shit, that's the day I just lose all faith in.
You gotta stop. You're gonna lose your morality if you do.
All right, Priscilla, thank you so much for the $20 over on Venmo. Priscilla says, "Keep doing what you're doing." I appreciate you, Priscilla. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for the $20 donation. If you guys could show some love to Priscilla down below in that chat. As well as Nina, thank you for the $7 on Venmo. Says just canceled my Disney Plus subscription. There are things worth my money. Plus, Disney Plus is kind of shit. Like you could get the Marvel movies on there, but apart from that, like what do you really watch on Disney Plus? Yeah. As well as Ray, thank you for the 5. And learn skill, but I appreciate you. As well as Mad Scramble, thank you so much for the $25 over on Venmo. Show some love to Mad Scramble down below. That is very kind of you. They say I'm overseas right now. I got a message several hours ago that my son didn't come home from school. He's home and fine, just didn't check in with grandma. However, I was still a wreck. Listening to Cook, this pervert apologist says, call me down. Dude, Mad Scramble, oh, yeah, I could put myself in your shoes and understand why that would cause you to be a wreck. Jeez, man, I'm happy that your kid's all right. I appreciate you for the $25, as well as Mary with the 10 and Angela. $35 says, I've loved watching you grow and continue to lead and at least try to educate these absolutely spineless individuals. Much love, brother. Much love to you as well, Elliot. If you're the right Elliot I'm thinking of, you've been like tuning in and out for like the last 3 years, right, man? I remember you. You're like verified on TikTok, right? I may be thinking of someone else, but anyways, Dustin and Ranjai.
can be the goals of tariffs.
リキさんに買い物に一緒に行ってもらったよ。
Always wrong. I just think that blanket tariffs are. So wanting to end or disincentivize labor abuses abroad, I think is a goal that we can use tariffs in certain relevant senses to attempt to achieve. However, it is the case that blanket tariffs imposed on our allies, including countries with better labor laws than us, like Canada, is very wrong and economically devastating. As well as Katie with the $10 saying she isn't listening to hear, she's listening to respond, which is why you had to ask her that question like 3 times. Yup. And then Zach with the $20 over on Super Chat. Thank you for the love, Zach. That is very, very kind of you. And then Jocelyn with the $10 on Venmo. Mary with the $10 on Venmo. Candace with a 5 and Tamir with a 5. I appreciate you guys so much for the love. And then Brittany, thank you for the $5 over on PayPal as well. Thank you so much. Go ahead.
Real quick, I have one that I want to read off, and then just so the rest thank yous. But massive W's in the chat for Jennifer, who sent a $25 donation. Said, "Thank you for all you do as a mother of a transgender teenager who's also a person of color. I appreciate you so much, Jennifer." Thank you for the 25. Make sure that you hug your baby and tell your baby that they're loved and supported. Kat, thank you so much for the 10. I appreciate you so much. Mr. Cupcakes, thank you for the 5. Margot, thank you for the 5. Absolutely, keep up the good fight. And massive W's in the chat for Cindy for the 45. And also, holy fuck, Emily, thank you so much for the 50. Thank you for the 50. And Ashley, thank you so much for the 5. I really appreciate all of you more than you can imagine.
Okay, I would like to thank Mr. Cupcakes for nothing. Dean, love watching you laugh. I would like to thank all my followers for nothing. And it's good. It's fine. I don't care. But yeah, I'd love some extra money on my Venmo or my PayPal. Whatever. But good for you, Dean. You're getting rich as fuck off this live right now.
I think he's going to use it all for therapy after this conversation with you.
Oh, for God's sake, Santana. Who the fuck are you, by the way? I don't even know who you are.
Santana.
Whoa. I
don't even know who you are. I'm going to have to look up your page after this.
Please do. It might hurt your feelings, but yeah, you should look up my page.
I honestly, like Drake, I threw my heart out the window years ago. I don't have feelings. I just...
How old are you?
I'm 43.
You're 43 and you just quoted a Drake line.
Yeah.
You're 43 and you just quoted a Drake line.
Isn't Drake like about my age?
Yeah, to be fair, Drake is also like 40.
Yeah, he is, but you're 43 quoting a Drake line. I'm 38 and I wouldn't quote a Drake line because Drake is not a role model. He's not someone that you should be looking for when it comes to advice and quote unquote throwing your heart out the window.
No, he's not. I have a history of being, let's just say.
Can you please answer why you're still supporting Trump? And going back to what we've said over and over and over, he's a disgusting person, and he's also protecting PDF files. Can you please directly answer that without mentioning anyone else, please?
Okay, can we start calling it pedophiles and not pedophiles? Number one.
I understand that terms like pedophiles like definitely gamifies the term, which is something I didn't wish we had to do, but we do have to do it for TikTok TOS, and that would rest on TikTok, not us.
Yep.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I disagree with the gamification of words like unalive, great, pedophiles.
Completely agree.
Yeah.
Like, we're adults, we want to have an adult conversation, but we're on a kid's app.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I don't agree with either side 100%. And
yeah, again, don't talk about other people, specifically
Why are
Trump.
you
Specifically,
treating-
lock
but
in,
why are
specifically
you
Trump. Don't
treating-
mention anyone else.
Come on. But it's like, why are you treating the sexual exploitation of kids like economic policy? Right? Your response to that shouldn't be, well, I don't disagree with either side 100%. Like, we're talking about some fucking, like, reduction in the marginal tax bracket for people making over $100,000 per year, when in all reality, we're talking about the sexual exploitation of kids.
all right, if I make this statement, you guys are going to lose your shit real fast.
Make it.
You know what it's going to be.
Please don't mention other. Don't fucking no. I'm sorry, Dean. I'm sorry, Dean. I'm sorry, Dean.
I'm just
fucking
saying.
don't mention anyone else and anyone else. Do not mention anyone else. Do not. Don't do it.
Who do you think it's going to be, Santana?
I don't care because our answer doesn't. You naming some other name will not change how we feel. Lock in.
Okay, I don't think you are on the same page as me, but like the Joe Biden pedophile shit, the kids, you guys are not gonna like that.
And what about Biden? If Joe Biden was on the Epstein list, we would say lock him up too. Now, can you please directly speak to Trump?
Okay, Joe Biden was too old, I think.
Can you please directly speak to Trump?
Trump has all of his faults, all of them. They're out there. He's a convicted felon. At this point, we have to run America like a business. And that's the only reason why I voted for him against Harris, is because now we're in a business.
Name one good economic policy he's ever
kids,
passed.
but go ahead, Dean.
What?
Name one good economic policy he's ever passed.
Trump?
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, at this point, I don't really see a big difference. Honestly, he's trying to lower.
Name one.
He's trying to lower tax brackets. He's trying to lower grocery supplies. I mean, in his first term, he was the first president that declared peace in the Middle East, which, you know, we have a lot of people talking about that, which is great.
Turkish-Kurdish war.
His war on ISIS and the ongoing war in Afghanistan.
I don't think we should be involved in any of the wars. Honestly,
Oh my god!
Oh my god! I'm gonna lose my shit.
For real.
Jocelyn, thank you for the $10 over on Venmo. Appreciate you for the love, Jocelyn. Then Tamira with the $5 as well. Thank you so much, Tamira. Micah with a 3, Angela with a 5. Thank you guys so much. Then Serenity with the $20 over on Venmo. Thank you, Serenity. She says, Dean, I am tired. I'm getting tired too. Dude, like she's literally hurting my stomach right now. Joe, thank you so much for the $25 on Venmo. Joe says, love you, keeping it real. Keep doing you, homie. Joe, man, appreciate you for that love. Thank you for being here. Anna with a $2.22 saying that fake laughing is killing me. Then Elena with a $5 says, Dean, please, for the love of God, drop keto. I am dying over here. Then Amiri with a $1 on PayPal saying $1 to kick keto off right now. Haven, thank you so much for the $20 over on PayPal saying thank you for your patience and uplifting during this hard time. Much love to you as always. Thank you, Haven. That is very, very kind of you. Thank you so much for your kind words and for the $20 donation. It means the world to me. Thank you so much. As well as Ranja with the $20 saying, no worries, I was worried I had the wrong account. Nope, that's the right one. Thank you for the $20, Ranja. And then Alex with the $5 saying, Dean, please tell Keto to stick to food videos and STFU. She heard the donation. And then Brittany with the $5, Dustin with a 2, and Ranja with a 2. All right. As well as Jennifer with a 5 on Super Chat, Ashley with a 5 on Super Chat. I see all of y'all guys. Thank you so much for all of the love. Wesley with a $5 on Super Chat. And Say What with another $20 on Super Chat. Say What with a $20 says, in my 50 plus years of life, I've never been accosted by a trans person in the bathroom. By a white cis male? Yes, many times. Well, first and foremost, I'm really sorry to hear that happened to you. Nobody deserves to go through that once. Even more so, many times. But what you say there is meaningful. As well as Lori with the $20. Thank you so much for the love. Lori on Super Chat with the $20 says, you want Trump to run America like a business, but he has failed bankruptcy 7 times. He can't even run a business successfully. His riches were given to him. Yep.
Lies.
No, everything that she just said was true. So he, what was it?
It is, but that's what billionaires do.
Can you name any other billionaire with 7 bankruptcies?
Oh, I mean, I could literally go on my computer, but I'm sure like with some of the major financial companies like Target or Walmart or things like that have
not companies,
person.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Trump is
declared personal. No, he's declared personal bankruptcy 5 times.
Okay. I mean, you can Google it.
As well as Michael, thank you for the $20 on Super Chat, saying that this color is hurting my soul, hurting mine too. Michael, I appreciate you for the $20.
I got a couple really quick. Attorney Embers, thank you for the 20. No, she is not like us. That's exactly why she quoted Drake. Allison, thank you for the 5. I want to read this part off real quick because she said She said, you with 50K on TikTok, but she's questioning who you are. Technically, I'm not at 50K yet. I'm at 48.7, but, you know, I could. Oh, Nisi. Okay, I got you. Thank you so much, Nisi. I really, really, really appreciate that $100 donation. Allison, thank you so much for the 20. He said this is what happened when you don't eat carbs. And Nancy, thank you so much for the 2. I appreciate you so much. Everyone, thank you all.
Hey, Keto.
Yeah.
You're the last guest of my stream today because we just officially hit over 4 hours.
What a pleasure.
Holy shit.
No, I'm telling you, no, it's like you are a celebrity in my eyes, and I'm like so happy about it. I'm Googling the entertainers and the sports figures that all claim bankruptcy. I mean, just saying, if you have multiple businesses, you're more likely to have to claim bankruptcies. So
Multiple bankruptcies. Yeah. Everyone with multiple businesses should have multiple bankruptcies. Holy shit.
well, no, hopefully they don't, but sometimes it happens.
Hey, Keto, what do you do with a soccer ball?
You kick it.
Any last words? Soccer ball?
I don't understand. Is that like a gotcha?
Oh my God. Oh
Thank you.
my God. Oh my fucking God. Oh my fucking God.
That was great.
Holy shit.
That was, I can't. Oh my
Holy
God.
shit.
Hey, Blair, I appreciate you for the $10 on Venmo. Blair says there's a gap in education and critical thinking and historical knowledge and media literacy, and it's saying to witness the historical frameworks of indoctrination and its cult-like consequences play out in real time. Dude, it's fucking insane. As well as Caleb, thank you for the $5. I really appreciate that from you. As well as Dominique with the $10 saying for the mental trauma keto has caused to all of us this evening, please use this towards therapy to heal from this difficult time. Mandy, I'm going to start crying on live again, folks.
Holy shit.
Sorry, that was a bad one. That was a bad one. That was a bad joke. That was a bad joke. That was a really bad joke.
That's a W joke. Fuck that.
Oh no. Anyways, let's see here. Also, over on PayPal, I'd like to thank you, Whitney. Thank you so much for the $35 over on PayPal. Whitney with the 35 says, Dean, thank you for all you do and your genuine efforts to educate these clowns. Much love. Thank you, Whitney. I really appreciate that. Shout out to Whitney in the chat as well as Gabe. Thank you for all the fireworks. I appreciate you guys so much for all the love. Holy shit. You guys have been showing up and showing out with the love today, very seriously. As well as Aaliyah, thank you so much for the $21 and the 20 cents on PayPal. And love for you and Santana from Australia. Love to Australia. Thank you for tuning in. And then Danielle with the $20. I see that you wanted me to keep your message private there, so I will, but I appreciate you for the $20. As well as Bill, thank you for the $20 over on PayPal. Olivia with the $10 on PayPal. Caleb with the $2 on Venmo saying we got Cadence and Dean Cord. Yo, let's go, bro. That's awesome. As well as Tara with the $10 on Venmo. Thank you so much, Tara. And Jackson with the $20 on Venmo saying people like that, yet we are trying to defend and defund the American, sorry, not to defend, but rather to defund the American education system. What a joke. As well as Elaine with the $10 saying your database. Thank you, Elaine. Let me go ahead and check over Super Chat real quick. Cameron, thank you for the $10 saying thank you for streaming and doing this daily for all of us. This has to be a torture to deal with guests like this. Yeah, it's pretty bad, but I'm used to it. Anyways, for everyone in the TikTok chat spamming one more. You know me, on most days I would. However, it's already 7 p.m. where I'm at, and I got to cook dinner tonight. I've been eating out too much recently, so I'm making myself cook this evening, and I'm going to need the time to cook. I'm going to need the time to cook.
Can I say one really quick thing before I go?
Yeah.
And first and foremost, thank you for having me up. I really appreciate you a ton. While there's still people here, I would just like to say, if anyone has not heard the story about Terry Reid, I'm sorry, I was going to say Troy, Terry Reid yet, The actual Troy. Why did I say Terry? Troy.
It's Trey. Trey Reed.
Trey. I'm sorry. Trey Reed, the young black man that was actually hung at Delta State University in Mississippi. I would just say take some time to go look about it so much, because it's actually it gets me kind of flustered and emotional whenever I read it or think about it. But if you haven't if you're not up on it, just take some time to go look it up and read on it. It's very disturbing, and it's a problem.
Yeah,
It's
man.
a problem.
We were talking
So-
about that on the stream yesterday, towards the end, and I say that we should talk about it today again. So yeah, what's going on with Trey Reed? It is greatly concerning. So the family said that his arm was broken, his legs were broken, but then the medical examiner said that his arm wasn't broken, his legs weren't broken, and the sheriff deputy said that there is no indicator of wrongdoing. And I'll probably bring this up at the end of like every single live stream until we know more, because I want as many eyes as possible to be on this perpetually, because ultimately, if we could keep this in our minds, if we could keep talking about this, eventually like the full definitive undeniable truth will come out. And I think I think that is something we need to do. I think that we need to keep eyes on this. I think that we need to keep talking about this. So eventually the truth will be forced to come out in an undeniable manner. So, yeah.
This is the first, like I heard about it while I was on live, and this is the first time I've tried to talk about it on live. And like right now, I'm not usually lost for words, but it's like even hard to talk about it at the moment. So it's again, super personal for me, being a black man from the South, but it's fucked. It's really fucked. So, but thank you for having me up, Dean. And thank you for giving me a moment to mention it. I appreciate you. Oh, how's that bottle treating you? I understand.
It's great.
I'll see you later.
It's great, man.
Have a good one.
I appreciate you for coming up, and you have a good rest of your night, Santana. You take care. All right, everyone. I think that we are going to go ahead and end for the night. You guys should find some stream, but we should do a massive raid. I just want to say, thank you guys so much for tuning in and for being here. It fills my heart. It genuinely fills my heart just knowing that so many people are intrigued and interested and are here to listen to logical discourse. For so long, I felt like I existed in this bubble where I wanted to think things through logically, but no one around me did. And doing these streams makes me so happy for the future of humanity. Genuinely. And I think that there's a redeeming quality here and that the future might be bright. Can be bright, will be bright. Couple more people just before we head off here. Thom, thank you for the $25. I appreciate that, man. Good to see you. As well as Kaylee with a 5, Delilah with a 5, Samantha with a 5, Zoe with a 5, and Mirth with a 3. I appreciate you guys so much. Now, for everyone else in here, let's go ahead and find someone to raid right now. Who are we going to raid? Who are we going to raid, everyone? Who are we going to raid? Let's see if we can find anyone good. Vexbolt and Slive? What the fuck? We're not going to raid Vexbolts. Is anyone even on right now? Brett Cross? Is Brett Cross on? Brett Cross is on. Let me go ahead and check him out. We're going to send a raid to Brett Cross. Brett Cross is the father of somebody that, of a child that was, no, Brett Cross isn't on. Somebody told me that he was live. He isn't. What the hell? Okay. All right, actually doesn't look like we have anyone to raid, unfortunately. Looks like literally everyone is off right now. So we're going to go to an end for the evening. Lisa, thank you for the $20 on Super Chat. I really appreciate you so much for the love. Thank you so much, Lisa. Alongside a handful of other people, like Maisie with the 10, Mirth with the 3, and Lauren with the $2 over on PayPal. I'm gonna go ahead and end for the evening. Peace and love for everybody. I'll see you tomorrow. As always, I'm happy to be back. Peace and love, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.